Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another FlyJSim live stream today. It's the 30th of October 2020. Coming in from the United Kingdom, 9 minutes past 6 in the evening. Caught you off guard tonight, an impromptu live stream Friday night in at the FlyJSim household as the UK goes into pandemonium with with lockdowns again. My oh my. But yeah, back in the fantastic FlyJSim 727. I've got loads of stream ideas coming up here. But I thought one of the things I'd quite like to do is the return sector back to East Midlands in the 727. About 2 weeks ago we did the first sector here. And I thought we'd go back this evening because the weather looks a bit dodgy in the East Midlands area, a bit of a low visibility, a bit of a low cloud base. It'll be a bit of a challenge to fly this old school on the FlyJSim network. But yes, great to be at least back in X-Plane 11. Lots of people here, Tim, you did make me chuckle. My consignment of freezers from Italy has been waiting. Been waiting for these. Yes, we've got all your freezers on board. We need to load them up as well. Isley Apple would like to see a face cam. All you'd see is the head of an alpaca, mate. Not much to see, really. Fair and Eagle goes, yes, conventional navigation. I know a lot of you guys love this old school INS and VRDME only nav, so it's exactly what we're going to be doing. And what's also going to be quite exciting is because it's an impromptu stream, I've not actually tested the sector, so we'll be holding hands together whilst I try and work out where to initiate descent, what approach we're going to fly back into the UK. So yeah, I hope it works okay. I've just blitzed off a SimBrief flight plan from the other day. Been sat on it for a while, so I'm just going to use the same one this evening here. Andy H1302 says perfect timing. Captain X-Plane 1972 has just finished. That's a guy worthwhile checking out. I've spoken to him briefly on Twitter as well, so that's fantastic. Straight through one simmer's door to another, so welcome on board there. SB says hi, flight to Sim and everyone as well. Excellent, right. So Mariana is upstairs at the moment. Doing a few other things, but yeah, where are we going? We're in Milan Bergamo. It's exactly where we left the FlyJSim 727. Live time, live weather, so it's going to be a full night cargo flight this evening. Flight time in the region of 1 hour 50 minutes. We're going to laden up the 727 with Tim's fridges and all the other sorts of cargo that we're going to be taking on this flight. Cruising at 34,000 feet as well. We are, as I said, live on FlyJSim, but as it was an impromptu stream, it doesn't look like there's any other traffic here or any other tower controllers or anything like that. Right, I don't even know where we parked. I think we're over here somewhere. Scenery's from Aerosoft anyway, the Milan Bergamo scenery. Full moon as well. Clocks have changed too. I hope we're here. Can you see us? I can see it. There we are, in the dark. I put us exactly where we parked last time when we finished the stream, so I think it's stand 404 here, but yeah, you might have to squint, guys, to see the 727. Here she is. Excellent. Didn't let the rust get too thick before we flew it again, but yeah, very dark, very difficult to see, but there she is. We'll get it all lit up and ready to go outside the DHL cargo centre. We're just renting a small part of their office there, but yeah, I won't do much of a spin round because you basically can't see anything, but yeah, it's going to be an enjoyable flight and some fun weather to deal with in East Midlands later. Right, anyway, let's jump on into the flight deck. We'll turn the music down here in the background. There we are. Right, so completely cold and dark. It's been a while since I've done any checks here. We've got a little bit of lighting, I think, from the lights outside coming in, so we'll pop the battery on first. Let's get the GPU connected as well. Oh, it's worthwhile noting, I only found out prior to the start of this stream that there is actually a sale on with the FlyJSim 727, so you can actually pick this up for $41 right now. Now, I've not been doing any promotion or anything for FlyJSim. Literally, one of the members told me on Discord, oh yeah, they've got this on sale at the moment. So yeah, I think throughout this entire weekend you can pick up any of the FlyJSim aircraft on discount, which is pretty cool. Right, batteries on. Let's get some external power. There we are. Flick that over to external power. Let's get rid of the the failure light. I think that's to do with the bus and ensuring that you select what source of AC power comes from. So that's on. Electric hydraulic pumps, we'll pop those on now. If I can actually do it, there we are. My goodness, it's probably really loud for you guys, all these whirring sounds. I've had so many issues with audio in streams recently, but again, it's all based off your feedback, so let me know in the chat if it's too loud or too quiet. Now, there's a little switch here to turn all the lights on. Where is it? There it is. I love this. Look at that. like a kitchen pantry or something like that. So put those lights on, and there's one here on the engineer's panel as well. Where on earth is that switch here? Sounds perfect, thanks guys. There we are. Excellent. So we've got some power here. You can see it. You can hear the lights ticking in the background, which is great. So batteries all on electrical power. What I'm going to do is sort of a panel scan up top here, because the flow's a little bit different to what I do in the 737, because there's no FMC to load, no IRS to align. We've got an INS nav to align here, but we'll start up here, put the wipers to park, auto brake to RTO. We'll pop on the logo light and the nav lights. Let's turn up some lighting here as well. In fact, what I'm going to do, because I think if I pop this light on, there we go, that sort of illuminates everything a little bit better, and I can actually pop this one off. It's extremely bright, those panel lights. There we go, it's actually a little bit better. So working our way up here, that's all set. Compass is slave, don't need to fiddle with that. Let's do the cargo fire test. That's working. I'll turn up flaps, hopefully we won't be using those. Pop the window heat on. Rest is all set here. Pro can come on later. Emergency exit lights on. There's no need for a squawk code. There's no FlyJSim ATC here at the moment. SID we're going to fly. We'll brief shortly. It doesn't have a stop level, so we're going to go straight up to our flight level 340. It's quite a dodgy SID, this one, because it heads off towards high terrain. Thank you very much to William Overman, who's just joined as a member. Welcome aboard. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. You'll get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy your custom emojis in chat as well, so thank you very much, buddy, and welcome. So 34,000 feet set. Come up to the INS navigation soon, and then we'll set runway heading and courses. So now let's get some gross weight added here. So what I'm going to do first is empty the cargo hold. Let's load up Tim's fridges. I always basically load this to ensure CFG is near the centre. I think it's something like that. And the flight plan, I wanted a zero fuel weight of 61 tonnes. So looking at this figure here. Sorry, not 61 tonnes, 56.4. So get rid of that one. Ooh, no, I actually want that one. So 56.4, there we go. So I've kind of distributed the weight here to keep the CG right in the middle of the limits. That gives a gross weight of 67.9 tonnes. But every time I fly, I always kind of distribute it this way. Optimal altitude 351, so we're cruising at 340 today. So yeah, this SID we've got to be very careful with climb gradients, because we are heading off towards the Alps. We've got to ensure that we comply with all the restrictions on departure. Let's have a little look at the flight plan. Fuel-wise, then 12.2 tonnes. We burn about 4 tonnes an hour in the 7.2, so it's taken an extra 30 minutes because of reasons, and FlyJSim and dodgy low cloud place later in East Midlands. So let's call that 14.5 tonnes. That'll do for us. So let's get rid of that. 14.5. There we are. So the wing tanks are pretty much full. With 34% full in the centre tank, so that's the weight and fuel distributed. I enjoy the phrase dodgy SID, says Jeremy. You've got it. A dangerous SID, I should say. One where you've got to be careful of. Right, now comes the boring part. So, let's show you where we're going. So taking off runway 28 here in Bergamo, straight out departure. We're going to be flying a, it's called a Serrano 6 Romeo departure, and then an Arles 9 Tango transition, which basically takes us to northern Italy. Routing then Switzerland, just east of Lake Geneva, pretty much just overhead Paris, English Channel right over the top of Heathrow, onwards to East Midlands. Said flight time of 1 hour 15. So that is where we are going. Here's the exciting part. I'm going to have to put INS waypoints in. Now, I did print off a copy of the flight plan just before the stream. I have picked some out in between the points. We should get every single one in at once without having to reload any more. So I'm putting 9 INS waypoints in. What I shall do for you guys is bring up the charts here, which I also have on Navigraph. I love having 2 monitors. Let's close this, and you can also see the routing here. So what I'm going to do is load up the INS using the flight plan, but I'll show you where it is geographically and what airways we're using. I just have to remember to scroll as
40,
we go along there.
30,
Thank you very much,
20,
EQ002 for the £2. No spooky Halloween livery. Party foul, reports Chief Pilot. Thank you very much, EQ002 for your £2. No, it's just the classic Alpaca Airways livery. And tomorrow we're going to be taking part in the, well, it's nothing to do with Halloween to be fair, but the Berlin Tegel overload event, because it's the last time, I think, or one of the last times they're going to be doing an overload event there. So we're going to be taking the Zebo bot there around 3 PM, but I'll publish that stream tomorrow morning. Right, so let's get rid of this. I'll pop the INS on the left of the screen, and I'll try and show you which waypoints I'm loading into the INS as well. So the first one I want to program is Arles here, and I'm going to use conventional navigation from Bergamo to get to this waypoint first. So firstly, with the INS, we need to move this switch to standby, and we need to rotate this switch then to position, which it is, and we need to insert all our coordinates. So let's bring this up here briefly. We're on stand 404. Let's see the coordinates chart. There we go. So stand 404 right at the top here. These are the coordinates we want to punch in. So north 4539.9. Insert, and then east 942.4. Insert. So now INS system knows where we are. We just need to move the switch to align, just as you would in the 737 with the IRS, and wait for that to align, which will take it around this latitude, 8 to 10 minutes or so. Perfect. So we'll now move this switch to waypoint, and then number 1, and we can start loading up the waypoints. So here's our first waypoint, Arles. Then, as I said, that's where the SID terminates, and I will navigate there conventionally. So Arles, and I'm just basically going to read the coordinates straight off the flight plan, which I know you can't see, but it's just far easier that way, and that way I'm less likely to make an error as well. So we've got north 45 55.8, insert, east, and then it's 8 to 22.5. Waypoint number 2 is going to be Ebodi, so we'll intercept the Lima 153, and it's pretty much a straight line until we get to Ebodi. There it is. So we'll put that in as waypoint number 2. And the coordinates are number 2. We've selected north 4657.2. Insert east 005 540 insert. Waypoint number 3 is going to be Goathead. So again, going back over here. There is Goathead. So you can see we're going to be getting close to wherever this is. Great. Saint-Argent. And there's Dijon. That's a little bit more familiar to me. But let's stick in Goathead. Waypoint number 3. That's north 47.31.5. Insert east 5.27.4. Insert waypoint number 4 is Troy. There it is, the Troy NDB. That's north 48.15.1. Insert, and then east 35.78. 35.78. Insert waypoint number 5 is Colimier. So it's Colimier VOR. Just east of Paris now. 2.9, so that is north 48.57. Insert, and east 308. So 003, 008, insert. And waypoint number 6 coming up here. What's happened to chat? Talking about Crocs, oh my goodness. Thanks for subscribing, Mike C as well. And what game is this, Captain Elite Ad? We're on X-Plane 11. Perfect. Richard Aviation, East Midlands is my home airport. Fantastic. You have to wave as we come over the threshold. Waypoint number 6 then. I did just double check that got 5 incorrectly. 48.57 East 0328. Yes. So waypoint number 6 is Abnir. So it's again a straight line all the way there on the upper Mike 976 airway, approaching the coastline. So there's Abnir, waypoint number 6. That's north 50.10.3. East. Oopsie. Clear. So I forgot to put insert. So let's always be very careful when you're putting this data in here. So thankfully I did push north first. So north 50. 10.3. Insert. Very susceptible to input error. So you make a single mistake, a single digit, you can really screw things up. So you've got to be very careful there. East 001. 51.5, insert. Waypoint number 7 then, bit of a trek now, and that's going to take us all the way to the Biggin Hill VOR. So crossing the English Channel, right over the top of Lyd, and there is Biggin, just pretty much south of London. So let's stick in the Biggin coordinates, waypoint number 7. It's north 5119.9. 1199, insert. East, it's right on the Greenwich Meridian, so it's just 21, so 00002 minus 1 second. Just making sure that it's definitely correct. It is. Penultimate one, waypoint number 8 is Welling, and that's the beginning of the arrival into East Midlands. That's going to be north 52.14.8. Insert, and then west, all the zeros, 51.1. Oops. That was lucky. 00051.1. Insert. And lastly, it's definitely west, isn't it?
50,
it is.
40, 30, 20. 10.
Thank you very much, Joshua Stork, for the £15. I think this will talk to me now.
Hi, cheers for all of your streams and videos in the past. They're really great and enjoyable. Keep up the great work, especially the 72 content.
Thank you very much, Joshua Stork. Very much a fan of the classic navigation and the INS, so thank you very much for that, Joshua. Hope you're having a great evening, and hope you'll enjoy this flight and perhaps learn a thing or two navigating conventionally. It's certainly, for me, a great way to practice flying raw data conventional navigation by using this aircraft. So thank you very much, buddy. Very kind. Good. Waypoint number 9 then, last one guys, it's Velag, which is going to be north 52.24.6. Oops, so be very careful, north 52.24.6. Insert, and then west 1008. I'm getting rubbish at this, look. I keep forgetting to select the longitude first. So west, let's just clear that, make sure we get this in correctly. 1008. Now, if I have screwed this up, we'll at least hopefully get some sort of conventional navigation and be able to work that way. So west 001, 0.8, insert. Right, every single INS coordinate is in. Let's see how the alignment's doing. So it's down to 7.5. I know it's cheating, but you push this and it gets ready straight away. That's because I have had a glitch in the past where it didn't align properly and I moved it to nav too early and then I lost INS navigation. So I just basically align it quickly by pushing that, then move it to nav, and I know it's going to work properly. So there we are. Distance time makes rough sense, 57 miles, so it's not saying something like 570 miles to the first waypoint. Obviously, that's based off our movement, so it's an indefinite amount of time because we're not moving at the moment. So that's it. The INS is loaded. Thank you very much all for your patience. I hope you sort of learned something there. You can see, oops, sorry, you can see where that last waypoint was at Velag, look, just to the south of East Midlands. This arrival, most likely, I think you'd fly if you were going to hold, but we're going to be going vectors and actually flying the procedural approach onto ILS 27 this evening, unless there's ATC later on FlyJSim, where we can get some vectors or something like that. Cool. Why didn't you tell us about the stream? Yeah, it's an impromptu stream, so basically if I go live like I am just now, you have to make sure you have the bell notification on so you're told that you stream. I didn't post it on social media or anything like that. It's been a very long time since I've done an impromptu stream. Cool, so I think we're all done up here on the overhead panel. Let's now have a look at the charts. So we don't need the coordinate chart anymore. So here we are on stand 404. We're going to push back to face east on Tango. We're going to then taxi on the parallel taxiway. Which I've got to select the chart for. There we are. So it's a very short taxi. Tango 1 is a hot spot here, so you've got to be careful of these hold points. They're quite far away there, but we're going to use the hold point alpha for runway 28. I think that's the Cat 3 hold point for when Cat 2 and Cat 3 is in use. Runway 28, then we're going to take off 2,800 metres now. Typical Italy, there's two charts. You've got the initial sort of departure here and then the transition. So we're going to take off from runway 28. The runway QDM is 284. It's going to make 284 degrees until we get 2 miles away from Bergamo, and then we're going to make a left turn, intercept the outbound here, which is 266. The 266 radial. When we're 40 miles from Bergamo, we need to be at above 5,000 feet, and when we're overhead the Serrano VOR, we need to be at above flight level 85. So we need to keep climbing to get above that terrain there. And then once we get to Serrano, we're going to fly the RLES 9 Tango transition, which takes us from Serrano, making a right turn outbound 301. By that time I'll probably get the INS navigation active from Serrano, because that's the first waypoint we programmed at RLES. Making sure we keep climbing, so we need to make sure we're about above flight level 120 at Exora, which will be 11 miles from RLES, which we'll have on the INS DME. And keep climbing at above flight level 180, 190 by the time we get to RLES. So if we're having issues with our performance, well, in real life you get vectors, but if I was not above 180 at this point, I'd be very concerned heading northbound with the high terrain there and the Mora being so low. So that's the departures then. Let's get that a little bit set up then. So first things first, let's set the runway heading 284 and the course. And this is completely untested. I've not flown this sector at all, so anything could happen. Really, anything could happen. So that's that. We need to tune up Bergamo 1495. So put that as active on box 1 and 2. And put 284 this side. You can see the RMI is spinning. That's good. Runway heading 284. There we are. Of course, what you should do is, before you use any navigational data, is make sure you've got the correct one there. So you can flick nav 1 and DME 1. There's Bravo Echo Golf, so we're happy that the VOR is correctly identified. And then the DME, it's the same dots and dashes, just at a higher pitch. If it'll work. It often takes a while for the DME to come in. There we are. So we know the Bergamo VOR has been identified and the VOR and DME is active. We better just put the Serrano VOR on standby as well, 13.7. Which is the one we're going to do next. That'll box 1 and 2 as well. But we'll rely on our navigation from Bergamo first. Cool. So that's all set. Flight level 340 we've discussed. Weather, that's the only thing we need to do. So just grab that here. So right now in Bergamo, there's no clouds, a bit of mist around 8,000 metres, 12 degrees, QNH is 1024. So a little bit of high pressure, which is nice, and that should indicate the elevation, which is 780 feet. A little bit off, but maybe the pressure's slightly different in the sim, but we'll go whatever it says. Yeah, 1024, 1024, and 1024. Perfect. The instrument comparator light is extinguished, so it's all happy, everything's aligned. And now I think it's a good time to start the APU. There it is, booting up. So let's just configure the engineers panel, because Jimothy, my engineer, is not here at the moment, so we'll pop on all the fuel pumps. So fuel pumps are on. IDG panel we don't need to configure just the moment. We'll pop the galley power on, which will turn off for the engine start. Packs are off. We'll want the engine to AP bleed open for the engine start. The engine 1 and 3 engine bleeds are open. Pressurization panel vents, so cruising at 34,000 feet. That's going to be cabin altitude of 5,200. Do not forget to put this switch into flight, otherwise the aircraft won't pressurise. That's to auto, and the elevation in East Midlands is 300 feet. Perfect. So pressurization panels all set. Everything's looking good here. APU's, I think, already started because we have pressurization there. PSI is up, and you can see the temperature going up slightly as well. So that's looking okay. Right. So I'm going to start now working through the checklist included with the FlyJSim aircraft, because that's quite good just to check the configuration here. Oh, look at that. The condition of my engines is fair. Okay, so airframe's like new in the APU, but I haven't actually serviced my FlyJSim engines ever. Nothing to report at the moment, so hopefully my fair quality engines will hold on for one more flight. We'll have no issues. I do have the X-Plane 11 random failures on. Touch wood, no issues. Ever since I turned it on, I haven't had any, because we did have an issue with the probe heat on a Zebo mod caused by that. So yeah, let's run the checklist here. Oops, I forgot to put the AP on the bus. There we are, so we'll close that. Central power to APU. There we go. And we can now disconnect the ground power. There we go. Where's that checklist? There it is. So batteries on, APU, ground power's on, so we've got APU stall warning check. We have not done that. There we go. That's working. Emergency exit lights are armed. Passenger signs as required. So no passengers today, just Tim's fridges. We'll pop the seatbelt sign on regardless. Certainly not where the 737 is. Switch. My days, where is it? Well, they'll have to stand. Passenger sides on, window heats on. Radio radar transponder set, parking brakes set, APU started. And we've closed the generator. Beacon on then, right, so just make sure there's no issues. Oh, no one online anyway, so any AC controls. Now there is a Milano Centre on above here, but I think that's high altitude only, correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think that's guy I need to tune up to get clearance from here. I'm just having a look here in the client. So no, it's Centre. Do you contact Centre for clearance? I never remember. I'll wait for someone to answer. If not, I'll request clearance from Centre. Jeremy, let me run some dodgy engines for your dodgy Sid. Hoping for failures then, says Airline Wiki. Oh, lovely. Is there a way to find the flight where you had a failure? Would be very interesting to watch. I haven't had any for a long time because I turned it off. Reason being is two reasons. One, on VATSIM, I don't really want to mess the guys around and stuff. I know they'll sort of compensate for those sort of issues, but I usually try and partake in busy VATSIM events. I know they certainly don't appreciate that. Secondly, it's just running into those sort of issues and completing the checklists. I think I don't know. I think that's the only real issue with VATSIM as well. I always want to try and complete the flight afterwards, so I'll go from there. Yes, they offer top-down service. Yes, you can contact centre. Okay. Daniel, have you seen the Level Up 737? I have heard of it. I've only directly involved with the Zibo mod, and from what I understand, the Level Up is 99.9% the Zibo mod anyway, with just some kind of graphical changes. I might be wrong in that, but I've not been involved with that development of that at all, I'm afraid. So I think it comes out tonight or tomorrow. So yeah, we might try it. Check it out. I always text centres through Xpilot just to check. Good idea, Andy. In that case, I'll just drop him a message. So it is. What is the centre? It'll be Lim 27450. Covering the whole of Milano area. He says on his automatic message, and the frequency is 127450. I just realised my sound mixer has VATSIM muted, so 2 seconds, guys. I'll just call him up, see what he says. Milano Centre, Buenos Aires, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, are in Bergamo, stand 404, would like to request departure clearance to East Midlands Airport, please.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, roger, runway 28, QNH is 1024, standby for clearance, I'll call you back shortly.
Roger. Nice, loud and clear, controller. Herman, thank you very much for another fine.
Am I on the same clearance as the OG Alpaca? I feel honoured.
Who was that? OG. Herman, thank you very much for your kind words.
It happens.
I had a very informative stream. Certainly enjoy flying the 727, buddy. Seb Slater, seatbelt switches above the passenger address panel has a blue light on it. Flight data sim, checklist to sim. Yeah, just testing you. Please extinguish your cigars. Cheers, Seb Slater. Adam, they're making the 600, 700, 800, 900, 900 ER. Ah, okay. Ian Keane, Captain, how do you keep motivation flying as an airline pilot? Go check out my Instagram and the video I posted today, Ian Keane. That's what keeps you motivated. Matt Glenford, holy, I know. Guys, if you're enjoying this Friday night in, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button as well. Once we get the clearance, we'll be taking an hour, 50-minute flight to East Midlands Airport this lovely evening here in the FlyJSim 727.
Requesting to cross from 835 left, Lufthansa 889.
Lufthansa 889.
Mike, can you move the seatbelt warning a bit sooner? After takeoff, I've been drinking all day.
Cross from 835 left, Lufthansa 889.
Yeah, there is no toilet service. You're right, Bjorn. We've got some alpacas at back. Tim's fridges. There's some hay. Just make sure you squeeze under some hay. Kit My Cat currently FlyJSim are having a sale. You're quite right. Completely nothing to do with this stream though. And I only found out literally
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
10 minutes before.
Confirm ready to copy.
Ready to copy. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, clear to East Midlands via Bergamo 5 Quebec departure. Arles 9 Tango. Climb 6,000 feet. Squawk 5401.
Get to East Midlands, Bergamo 5 Quebec, then Arles 9 Tango. Climb 6,000 feet, squawk 5401. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
5 Mike Alpha, correct. Push and start approved. QNH 1024, report ready for taxi.
Push start approved, call ready for taxi. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So we've got a slightly different SID.
5 left, clear
Bergamo 5 Quebec, which is... Oh, you joking? You want me to do this SID? It's a conventional SID though, so what I'm going to do... Bergamo 5 Quebec. So there might be a conventional one here, but it's a horrible SID. I don't want to fly this one.
Swiss radar offline. Correction, Swiss
Not like
radar
this
online.
aircraft, anyway.
Contact Swiss 128.050.
Bergamo 5 Quebec RNAV. Let's see if they have a alternative, or the one I basically chose.
Milan Control, Buonasera, EZ21, Papa.
Because this is the one he's cleared me on, look, Bergamo 5 Quebec. Which is basically like this. Left, right, left, round the top, right, look, they're all RNAV waypoints, so I can't fly this. Now see if they have an overlay.
Direct Blue Tower, EZ2 Papa Kilo.
That's runway 10.
Ready for departure, Lufthansa 889.
Two stations together.
I mean, I'll either just request the R, the one I briefed you guys with,
runway 35,
the Serrano 6 Romeo,
Line
or
up and wait from 835, right, Lufthansa 889.
that's true. So I'm thinking there is a conventional Bergamo Mori 5 Quebec overview departures. So that's the one I was going to fly.
Victor Papa Charlie Hotel Kilo, if there is enough space for you, not a problem.
Looks like a
Taxi
smog.
to holding point Tango 1, runway 36, via Delta.
You didn't like the dodgy SID, now you get the horrible SID. Exactly hologram. No, I think I'm going to have to, I'm just want to see, there's a Bergamo 6 Yankee, but that is based off runway 10.
That's 889, runway 35 right, clear for takeoff, wind.
And these are all the transitions after Bergamo.
Okay, takeoff from 835, right, Lufthansa 889.
So what I'm going to do is request the Serrano 6 Romeo because it's conventional.
Station calling, say call sign again, please.
I'm all pretty much ready to go after that. So anyway, 6,000, so we'll put the squawk in as well.
Sorry, I didn't copy, say it again. North flight 60190. North flight
Squawk
6019, Milano, buonasera, squawk mode Charlie, and set squawk 1000.
Squawk 1000 and Charlie, North flight 6019.
Milano, good evening, Milano, motion 5 for Bravo, Hotel
Louder motion. Emma, just out of curiosity, is it possible to do that SID with INS? Good question. I think it wouldn't be able to because there's a certain level of RNAV capability you need.
Thank you, motion 5 for Bravo.
I don't think the INS has that level of accuracy. Technically you could, and you could load every single one of those individual waypoints, but whether it's compliant with the level of RNAV required, I'm not 100% sure. On a 10-3G chart.
North fly 6018, identified.
Yeah, that's the one for runway 10 though. So that is
flight level 300, proceed direct aviation.
it's the same sort of SID, but basically you join up here, so you can sort of fly conventionally from there. And that is a conventional SID, but not for runway 28.
889 are identified, continue climb flight level
Anyway.
240.
Continue to climb flight level 240, Lufthansa 889.
I'm going to do... are we doing a power back today, or push and start? Let me know in the chat section.
Correction, descent flight level 70.
70 right now, 374.
It's completely
Condor
pitch black.
1155, contact
All of a sudden Milano went from being very quiet to now being very busy.
18050, Condor 1155.
Thank you. Speedbird 663, Milano.
Speedbird 663.
Speedbird 663, contact Swiss radar 128.050. Ciao.
Aaron, what's so horrible about the SID? Oh, it's because you're heading towards very high terrain, that's the problem. And the SID he's cleared us on is RNAV required.
Europa 542 on bed level 420. Europa 542, Milano, buonasera, identified, proceed direct to Maluk.
Power back. Power back, says Michael. Using the engines basically to reverse the aircraft.
Europa 542, identified, thank you, buonasera, proceed to Maluk. And France 327,
Right, well,
welcome to...
I think we should get on our way, guys. We've been cleared push and start anyway, so
Romeo, stand up.
beacon then, we'll pop that on. Galley power can come off.
Okay.
Packs are off, and we have PSI 30, yeah, 40 PSI, so that's sufficient. Bleed valves are open, which and now we're all ready to start the engines.
1000 feet, QNH 1024, Ryanair 4734.
And Milano Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. We've had a good look at the Bergamo 5 Quebec, unable to fly that at RNAV basic. Can we request the Serono 6 Romeo and then the RLAS 9 Tango transition?
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, Roger, standby, call you back shortly.
Roger. Right, we'll get started anyway, guys. So let's start now. Engine number 3. Move that switch to ground.
North Flight 1, request out of Cockpit, 4 minutes. We'll call you back.
Roger, approach to call my back.
Gotcha.
Awesome. So just 20% N2 required for the engine start on engine number 3. Already well above that.
Thank you. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, are you able Serono 6 Romeo and then RLS 8 Romeo transition?
That's perfect for us. Serono 6 Romeo and then the RLAS 8 Romeo transition.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, Roger, cleared via Serono 6 Romeo and RLS 8 Romeo transition, report ready for taxi.
Serono 6 Romeo, then the RLAS 8 Romeo, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. Grazie. Perfect. So, slightly different here. So that's the same. And instead of flying the RLAS 9 Tango, it's the RLAS 8 Romeo. It's essentially the same. You just go towards this point here, and then it just goes to RLAS at a slightly different height. So, that's it. Right. Lower pressure lights extinguished. You can now start engine number 2. Hold your ears. I love this guy's Romeo. So 20% N2. Let's pop the fuel in engine number 2. Just realised my thrust sleeve wasn't at idle. Nothing to see here. Oops. I haven't even looked at the takeoff performance. So I'm going to use flap 15 for departure, set the bugs. There we are. So V1's a 133, VR is 133, V2's 145, we'll probably climb up 160. So the performance is set. Obviously that doesn't take into account your weight and any obstacles, it's just the V speeds based off your weight. Right, engine number 2 is good, starting now engine number 1.
Fly 6019 Milano.
Can I request a Romeo for the community, Wilhelm? No, no way. Am I going to even attempt it? Fuel's going in. So weather radar tilt, we'll put that to +5. Gain we want on auto. There we are. Wicked. Right, so looks like 3 good starts, 3 low oil pressure lights have extinguished. Let's now do the before power backflow.
Thank you.
So
North fly 6019 Milano.
generators will pop on now.
North fly 6019, climb flight level 330.
1, 2, 3. Central power, put one of the generators. APU can now come off. Probe heat will pop on now. Oh, that APU does shut down quickly, and the 7.3 is a minute after doing that. Where is the probe heat? Oh, it's down here. Probe heat on. Anti-ice isn't required for departure, and the air conditioning pressurization panel then. So we've got packs on. You should get a little duct overheat here in the sim. I don't know why. Packs auto. I think we turn these off. Pressurization is set. Flaps
clear for takeoff. Wind is calm.
controls.
Lufthansa 889, contact Swiss radar 128,
There's the rudders,
050 jump.
right.
128.050, Lufthansa 889, bye-bye.
And we'll just complete the before taxi checklist, make sure the aircraft's all correctly configured here. So beacons on, we've done this. So anti-ice is required, pitot heat's on, flight instruments set for departure, we've done, flight controls checked, speed brake lever is down. There we are. Stab trim set for takeoff. Thank goodness we have a checklist, look at that. Boom, right. Would have been nose coming up at around 80 knots because it was so far nose up. Flap set for takeoff, galley power is on. Get Tim's fridge is on. Electrical, we've got no warning lights. Looks okay to me. We'll pop that light off now. Fuel heat required. No hydraulic pressurization quantity normal. So we've got engine hydraulic pressure. Quantity is green. Quantity is fine. AP we've already turned off. Pressure set for cruise altitude. Flight switch to flight. Very important. So let's double check that. It is. Engine number 2 bleeds closed. They are. EPR and airspeed bugs are set for departure. They are as well. And that's it. Cleared for takeoff. And the next few checks. Right. Ready for the power back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get on our way here. This is one of the best parts of taking the FlyJSim 727. Very dark, so we'll go all the way back to the taxi line here. Here we go. There's reversers. Parking brake released. Tobia's call sign changed down back of flight. Romeo. Outrageous.
Go ahead.
This kind of prehistoric relic is this ultimate prehistoric relic of cargo flying. 727.
Required flight level. Prefer flight level 0 or flight level 40.
Break.
Okay, flight level 360 is okay.
And on flight
A bit off the taxiway, but
360.
I'll take it.
Climbing flight level 360, North flight to 1.
Up on the taxi and turn off lights.
Flight
Good enough. It's like the 737's turn off and taxi. That's the old aircraft. Absolute rubbish. Can't see anything. I would just need to request taxi.
Climb flight level 360. Flight stays level 30 and climb flight level 360, North flight 6019.
Alpaca 5, Mike, Alpha pushback complete. In Bergamo, request taxi runway 28.
Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, taxi holding point Alpha, runway 28 via Tango.
Alright, Tango taxi, hold point Alpha, runway 28, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. Excellent. So,
Hotel Kilo identified, passing 2,000 feet.
here we are, already on Tango, basically. I can show you the other chart, but it's just essentially a straight line until we get to the Alpha hold point. Well, I'll show you guys. Which one is it? There we go. And there is hold point Alpha for runway 28. Nice straight line. Fantastic. Okay, so we're all ready to go. Parking brake is released. Let's do a config check. Now make sure if you ever get yourself at the FlyJSim, you very smoothly add thrust. Otherwise, if you do it too quickly, the engines will surge. There we are. No takeoff config warning. And we're already on our way. Took some time though, 51 minutes. Thanks a lot for your patience. Obviously, just make sure we had to get the right clearance from control, and obviously loading the INS, getting this thing set up does take a little bit longer. But once we do get on our way, this is one of the fastest subsonic jet aircraft there is. It cruises happily at Mach decimal 80. We might go at 83, 84 today. Be the fastest thing on VATSIM minus Concorde.
1803, proceed direct at T6.
Dave Cat, will alpacas be migrating during cross the pond event? Yes, I am planning on taking part. I am actually on unpaid leave that day, so as part of the pandemic, you know, we managed to all keep our jobs. We've agreed to take some days off, so that's just lucky how that's fallen. So yes, we'll be taking part there. I have bid for the shortest sectors because I do plan on streaming that entire flight. And most likely in the Zebo mod, I might poll it and see what you guys want me to fly. Most likely an Airbus of some sorts. Channel-wise, Innie Build A300 stream coming up soon, guys. I've purchased it this week. I haven't yet to actually test it in flight and stuff, but that will come up. I will be streaming tomorrow as well into Berlin, and a Euro Truck Simulator stream maybe at some point for a bit of fun, but we'll see. Anyway, lots to look forward to, and I don't know if you did check out my latest video on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I did a visual circuit in the Cessna 150. So go check that out as well. Let me know, provide some feedback. Might do a few more bits like that. It seems to be quite popular, that video. Awesome. Captain Gia, how do I get that top bar, the top that displays flight information? So that is through Sim Toolkit Pro, completely free to download. You can grab it as well. But that's a streaming overlay, so I don't actually see that in X-Plane 11. It just provides information, all the basic information for the flight, so anyone that's joining, they can see where we're going, what our call sign is on the VATSIM network, basic information on speed, heading, altitude, and the phase of flight as well. And then it should give you a rough ETA as well once you get airborne.
Thank you. Flight 6019, the Mach 0.79 or less.
So we'll do the before takeoff checklist now. So config we checked flaps, we have 15 green lights, stab trim is set for departure. Air conditioning pressurization system is set. So initially we're going to fly the Serono 6 Romeo departure, no cheating because it doesn't work with overlays on this chart, neither on the other one. So we're going to climb straight ahead to DME. You'll see the DME distance here and here. And we're going to make a left turn in sector 266 radial. Which I think is set up here actually. Just set the parking brake. Good job, that's why we always brief things just prior to departure, especially the initial turn of the SID there. So that's the actual course I want to fly. So we're going to set the 266 course. Until we're overhead Serrano. Serrano, in fact, what would be a little bit better is to tune the compass to 13.7. That way we have the DME distance from Serrano as well. Climbing to 6,000 feet, which is our stop altitude. NADP 2 departure, so I'm going to accelerate 1,000 feet, engage the automation as well. And a bug 215. That is all it. Cabin secure, ready for departure.
575 Milano Buonasera. Runway 36, QNH 1.
Can you fly the 777 across the pond? There isn't a decent one in X-Plane polypixel, and I'm certainly not taking the Microsoft Flight Sims commercial airlines. That's for sure. Alright, guys all ready? Let's do it. Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, hold point Alpha, runway 28, ready for departure.
Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, negative standby.
Negative. Hold short, hold short.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, landing traffic, Ryanair Boeing 738, 1 month final, confirmed in sight.
Visual route traffic, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, roger behind, landing Ryanair Boeing 738, line up on wait, runway 28 behind.
Line of landing 738, line up and wait, runway 28 behind, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So there's a Ryanair 737. It's definitely a Ryanair there. So we confirmed with Jim, are we cleared to line up after wait behind A firm? We'll pop the line sign, MCP, those are all set, transponder. My goodness me. TAR 8, strobe lights are on, and weather radar. Let's turn that system on. There we are, cleared to line up and wait. Let's do it. Selina Copeland, it's my first time watching you. Welcome on board. Enjoying the video. It's very hard at night time to make sure you're lining up on the correct runway here. And I say that because it's happened in airports like this before, where the centerline lights.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, runway 28, clear for takeoff. Wind is calm.
Runway 28, clear for takeoff. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. As I was saying, it can be a bit confusing because the centerline lights and runway edge lights are the same. They're both white, and there have been numerous cases where aircraft have lined up on the edge instead of the centerline lights in airports like this. Right, guys, are you ready? There's no toga to engage, but for a bit of fun, get your togas and chat. Right, let's go. Let's try this out. I've not even tested this sector. What could surely go wrong? Right, engines are stabilised. Let's take our thrust.
This is 64 Hotel.
Right, takeoff thrust set,
Milano,
indications normal, light full pressure on the control column.
Set squawk 5402.
Check, quite heavy today as well.
North Fly
Increase the forward pressure.
618. Contact Swiss radar 128.050. 128.050.
Up we go.
6019, thank you.
And we're airborne. And we'll pitch to maintain 160. Possibly climb gears coming up. And trim. Right, let's anyway concentrate on this aircraft. So we're just waiting for 2 miles, guys. Remember for that initial turn? There's 2 DME coming up. We need to bug up now, so we're going to lower the nose and accelerate 2 miles as well. So we're going to start a left turn to intercept that 266 radial 8 outbound from Bergamo. Just going to lower that nose to around 10 degrees. Nose down, select flaps 25. Oops, a bit steep on that turn, so there's the radial coming in now. Flaps coming up.
Correction, descent flight level 3.
You can tell I've not done this before. That's actually not too bad. So I've intercepted the radial. Keep lowering that nose. Select flaps up now. No wind makes it a lot easier to track radials. There's 200 knots. We're climbing to 6,000. There we are. It's a lovely evening. Lovely evening to go flying, but I'm still going to make my life a lot easier by doing this. Engage, arm, hold indicated airspeed, and nav lock, so we can fly that conventionally. And there we are, climbing up to 6,000 feet. Altitude's armed.
Europa 542.
So flaps are up, takeoff checklist, a gear can come off, taxi light off, pressurisation. It's the engineer's job, but we'll try and do it here today. Cabin's climbing 2,000 feet, divs increasing, approaching 6,000 feet, so we're going to start reducing thrusts so we can maintain plus 250 knots. Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, request further climb.
Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha identified, continue climb flight level 200.
Climb flight level 200, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. So there's 200 set, let's engage arm again, and IS hold, and again add that climb thrust about 92% in the 7.2, there we are, and we can set standard 3 times, we'll see how we're doing. I'm sure we'll need SID. My charts out. I'm just blindly going away from the Bergamo VOR at the moment.
Air control, good evening. For hotel. Inbound NACSF on flight level 354, climbing flight level 380. Otherwise, 584 Milano.
Cool. So let's have a look at this chart together then. So we're outbound from Bergamo, established on the radial, distance from and the distance to the next VOR, which is Serrano, so we're going to concentrate on this one here, and what I'm going to do is switch over to Serrano on box 1 as well. So I'm going to match the heading here. The Serrano VOR is 13.7, so I'm just going to go to heading select briefly. 13.7 on box 2. Here it should come in, there we are. Go straight back to Vorlock. Before you do that, what you're meant to do is get the ident. It's just me on my own. I'm just going to trust that it's correct. Anyway, there's flight level 100. We'll accelerate now to 280 knots to our climb speed. Remember, we've got to comply with these restrictions. So, 14 miles from Bergamo, we'll be above 5,000. Importantly, here at above flight level 85. So we're already at flight level 100. We're well above where we need to be. And we can now do our pre-cruise checks passing 100. So fuel. All 3 tanks, all the tank pumps on ready to the tanks. We've got 10,000 pounds in each
heading 0900 for traffic.
Lights will come off. APU's off pressurisation. is set, diff pressure's increasing. We can release the passengers, or the alpacas, or the fridges, or whatever we've got at the back there. You can free to light up your cigarettes. There we are, pre-cruise check's complete. So we're now here, bound to the Serrano VOR, which is in 9 miles. What I'm actually going to do is ditch the first chart there. Because next what's going to happen is we're going to fly over the VOR and then fly outbound on the 301. I'm going to preset that heading now. And the course on the first officer's side.
Europa 542, thank you. You may resume navigation direct to Malo.
7 miles to go. Looking good. Best roll R's ever. You've got it F-flatted. Very good. Better than mine.
Anyways, 5-4 hotel. You can resume navigation direct to Beval.
That was actually quite a smooth departure. A nice straight ahead departure.
Direct
Nothing
Beval,
too
Edelweiss
challenging.
54 hotel.
And why does Jibber never do any flying, says Oliver? Demoted. He's only a first officer and engineer, as required.
Anyways, 5-4 hotel, choose odd flight level.
So approaching the VOR now, what I'm going to do is go over to heading select.
Choose other flight level, Edelweiss 54 hotel.
And we're going to kind of just
Okay, climb flight
roughly
level
overflying
39.
now, then you'll see the needle start swinging. And I want to fly outbound on the 301 radial, so we need to get the tail.
Okay, 5 Mike Alpha, continue climb flight level 300.
Flight level 300. So there's 300 sets. So you can see, look, as we go past the VOR, the needle's just starting to swing round here, and we want to get the tail of that needle. The tail is the radial we're on. We want to get the tail of this needle on 301.
Roger.
Change the course over to 301 as well.
Europa 542, descent flight level 310.
Wrong knob here, there we go.
Europa 542, descent flight level 310.
So you can see we're already outbound from the radial. It's very sensitive because we're so close to the VOR. I accidentally turned the course instead of the heading there. So, there we are, there's the needle swing, tails on 301. Flight director side. What we can do here is gauge nav lock again. So the lock's engaged, we're now flying, the automation's following the outbound radial 301. What we're going to do here is update the INS to tell us to redirect to the same waypoint, which is Arles. So we're going to go waypoint change 01. Distance time. So we're 4.5 minutes from Arles, 25 miles. We can cross-check that here. 21 plus 11 is 32.
542, contact wind radar
Plus the fact that we've already
134,
flown past the
350,
VOR, so that
jump.
makes sense. And what I will now do is turn on INS navigation. So go back to heading select. Flick this switch to GPS. You should see it shouldn't move because I have updated it. There we are. 23 miles. And again engage nav lock. GPS is engaged, even though it's not GPS.
5 Mike Alpha, contact Swiss radar 128.050.
128.050 Alpaca 5. Mike Alpha, thanks off the ATC, bye bye.
Ciao.
Excellent. So there's Swiss radar now, we'll check it with them. Put on some music as well.
Top Swiss 4 Bravo 8 Cockpit, Boss 210 knots, runway 15, clear for takeoff.
Is FlyJSim a little bit loud for you guys?
Runway 15,
It's good for me, but let me know if it's too loud for you. Cool, so yeah, we'll just tell him we're inbound to Arles, which is the active waypoint. We're 14 miles away. 18 miles away, so that's from the Serrano VOR. Swiss radar, very good evening, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, climbing flight level 300, inbound to Arles, request flight level 340.
Papa 5 Mike Alpha, Swiss radar, good evening, identified, climb flight level 340.
Climb flight level 340, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, thank you. Right, so 340 set, it's armed, and that's our final cruise level. Thanks, Tim. Perfect.
Not 1 Romeo arrival, don't sorry.
Your fridges are on the way, Tim. I'll meet you at the airport. Seb Slater, audio's on point today. Yeah, I had a bit. What I did prior to this stream, or yesterday evening, I streamed privately to myself, so I could listen to it all. And I've changed it all. Now the key thing is not to change anything. It's perfect for me, guys. It's not sim, that's I can hear everything, which is great.
Jetcog 9F5, descent flight level 160.
Cool. So what I'll do now, I'll show you up here on the Navigraph charts. We're tracking, so we finished that sit. Remember we flew towards the Serona VOR and then 301 outbound, so you can see how accurate INS and VOR navigation is. It's bang on. There's Arles. And then we're going to be routing then to our second programmed waypoint, which is here. And these are just on route waypoints here. I love that Navigraph and Wayfinder recently. You can see where you are exactly geographically. Obviously it's pitch black, so you can't see what's we're doing. Now, top tip for you, I don't usually give many flight sim tips for you, but for those of you who watch my streams quite a bit, you'll know that I have performance issues with Ortho 4XB, and I actually use a fantastic utility called X Organizer, which allows you to disable tiles on routes and also included any installed scenery on those tiles as well, so it's just plain default X-plane. So at night, what I've done, I've actually disabled all the en route tiles, and it makes such an improvement on performance for me. So I don't know if anyone else has similar specs or wants to perhaps try that, but yeah, I certainly recommend X Organizer to anyone that wants to tidy up things.
Officer 4 Bravo, clear identified, climb flight level 140.
See how sluggish we are. That climb for us to set 92%. Our fare engines, remember? Fare seem to be ticking on quite nicely.
Flight level 230, Lone Star 843.
There we are. But what FlyJSim tends to do, I've noticed, is sometimes you'll see one running a bit hot and the pressure a bit low, so to keep monitoring the gauges. So all of them are fine, EGTs are fine, all the fuel flow's the same, pressures, everything's all fine as well. So all pressure's high, high thrust. I'm not a 727 engineer, so I couldn't tell you where this gauge is meant to be at this stage. It's a good rewarding experience flying this aircraft. Polypixel, have you tried landing in Genoa, Alaska with a 737 in sim? I haven't, in fact. I'm sorry, I just realised you've still got the charts up. It's one of the airports where, well, Canada is certainly a country where I haven't streamed much, to be straight shot.
Which flight level we should expect over
especially with Microsoft Flight Simulator. I want to do some more GA stuff.
Tango Mike, approximately flight level 180.
Thanks, Oliver. I caught it before you commented. Now, my latency settings on the stream now, there's around a 25-second delay. The reason is I can increase the quality of the stream, but I have to increase the latency slightly, so it's around 25-30 seconds between what you type after what I've said. It used to be a little bit quicker.
131.325.
I know a lot of these people play these streams back. So we're still going to climb at 280 knots. Obviously, we're fixed indicated airspeed. Our Mach number will increase. When we get to around 0.8, we're going to maintain that speed, and actually we're going to then kind of add a bit of additional thrust to get on our way to East Midlands. Andy, I love this plane. This and the 732, my favourites to fly in sim by a very long way. They're very rewarding, Andy. I love flying the classics. Mr. Mixer's hoping to have the specs to use Ortho one day. I mean, it does make the sim look great and explain, but I don't even want to know the amount of hours I've spent fiddling with it. It's just crazy. It does look really good from high altitude as well.
Flight level 240.
Eurowing 755 Golf, this is radar, good and RBI identified. Climb flight level 290.
Climb to flight level 290, Eurowing 755 Golf.
So, about to cross over to Switzerland. This will be Geneva ahead of us.
Flight level 230.
Set to flight level 230, international, 3 Tango Mike.
Here. Actually quite close to terrain. So
74
one thing I
Bravo,
want to
climb
point
flight
out
level
to you
240.
is have a look here at the Navigraph chart. See these figures here, 17.5, 18.2, that's the highest grid more in Europe. That's because that's where Mont Blanc is, the highest mountain. Be very aware of your terrain. So if we were to have an emergency descent now, you don't want to be going below, well, you've thankfully got radar, so they give you clearance here, but yeah, 17.5 on this grid more. Any lower than that, you're risking hitting terrain, so you wouldn't go straight down to 10,000 feet. So it's very important to be aware of your surroundings, what the highest more is. Simbrief flight plans are identical to the ones my operator used, and we have something called the highest grid more, so you always want to have that in the back of your head. What's the highest out point or highest obstacle on your today?
Contact right radar 133.65, that's your flight, bye-bye. 133.65, thank you for service, bye. You're welcome.
That's part of how do you stand to the Cesar plans? Will it ever happen? If so, will it change your flight? God, I don't know what that is. What's Cesar plans? No clue what that is. Simon Lewis, World Flight Charity event starting tomorrow. Ever watched any around the world in 7 days now? I've seen a lot of things being posted about this, but I think it's all done on Twitch by various other streamers. You know, I'd like to sort of get involved with that. You know, for those of you who don't know, we've started now on the channel doing charity events and stuff. We're going to do every 10,000 subs. We did a Concorde stream 3 weeks ago now. We raised one stream raised $4.5 grand for the air ambulance, which is incredible. And then I'll do another one at 70,000, which will be an epic one of some epic proportions. I'll probably do it all day sort of stream there. So I did see something there, but they're doing it for a working course, so it's really cool. Yeah, across the pond. What did I? What sectors did I choose? I think I chose Boston, Dublin, Boston to Schiphol. The ones that were doable in a 7.3 basically, an empty 737 that is. Matt Glenn, AC volume's a bit loud compared to your audio for your information. Roger. There you go, I'm just... that's definitely going to be too low, I know it is. Just give me 2 seconds. That should be better now. Probably a bit too loud, but sounds okay to me. And also, can I hear music? It should be on. There you go. A single European Sky research, Eurocontrol tries to unify things in European airspace. Is this the one Sky thing? Again, I know very little about that. I know it's the long-term aim to harmonise all air traffic control. What I do know, there's some countries that aren't so happy about that. They go on strike, and then that causes all sorts of disruption in Europe. Brexit's certainly going to make things interesting with the UK, obviously. Plain old Ben's in the house, love this. Surprise stream, how's it going? Very well, and I hope you're doing very well too. And hope you're all getting on well with your flying on the side. But, it's getting very quiet where I work. But always love jumping on the stream. No plans this Friday. No tunes heard, get them pumped up, it's Friday night. Hold on. It's house music only, Plain Old Ben, because it's the only music which doesn't get any copyright strikes. My copyright-free chill lounge playlist. I'd love to put on something a little bit more club-like for the Friday. Wilhelm Glanzer, do you expand our Alpaca Airways fleet with the Just Like Vickers VC10 as soon as it's released? That will push our fleet age further down. Your streams, we'll grab it, Wilhelm. I did see that that's been developed. We also got the InnyBuilds A300 to stream too, which I'm looking forward to. I've already purchased that. We even have an Alpaca Airways livery ready for the Airbus A300, so we'll do another cargo run in there. Not looking forward to it. Kick my cat, those focus off so the fridges could light up. Outrageous. Peter, we're both very well, thank you very much, and I hope you're doing well too, buddy. Welcome aboard, Tom Lambert as a subscriber.
Bye-bye.
Over to Geneva, arrival on 131.325 with us, sorry, 4389.
Cancel 302, let's proceed direct onward.
Cool. That's Lake Geneva. I was just seeing the comment there. Yeah, you're right. Louisiana's here, but that's all Lake Geneva down there. Is Geneva? There'll be a VATSIM event there this evening. It's probably quite busy. I think X-Plane looks okay at night. I know obviously Microsoft Flight Simulator is a lot newer and stuff, but I do like how the sim looks at night. But, certainly disabling the ortho tiles further improves my performance. But there, that's the outline of. There's Geneva here. And Louisiana. Right over the top of Sion. We did a flight to Sion once. Mr. Mookspooks, I can't wait to grab the NE300s. Yeah, everyone speaks very highly of it, that's for sure. Very expensive. But I'm sure that's justified by the quality. All I've done in it is fire it up and just had a quick circuit, and it was just moaning at me the whole time. So, it's an Airbus, I don't know what it's doing. But I've been told it's the most Boeing-y Airbus there is, if that is such a word. So it should be okay. If I can learn to fly the Concorde, and if I can learn to fly the Tupolev, the Felis Tupolev, I'm sure I'll eventually get down to know how to operate the A300. The Tupolev and the Concorde have lowered my age expectancy considerably. Tommaso, I'm from Bergamo, and I'm surprised for the nearby of the airport. The mall is perfect. Ciao, grazie. Thanks, Tommaso. Just left. Curtis Rich, hello from California at work. We'll have to watch the stream after work, but love all the videos. Thank you very much, Curtis. Enjoy the rest of your day at work. Hopefully enjoy that later. I was having a look, guys, at my map, and hold on, I forgot to pin it here. I have a map I update every stream. I'm sure most of you are aware of it, but it is very sad how little of the world outside of Europe I've explored. I've actually done quite a few bits here and there, but certainly missing quite a few places in Europe. There you go. Here's my interactive map, which I like to update. Plain old Ben, you can't wait for the BAE 146. That's certainly, when that is released, it'll be something we'll definitely jump into. Most Boeing Airbus there is. That's a nice way of describing it. Thanks, Robson.
30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, DM71, for the 5, buddy.
Finally in from work to discover the surprise stream.
Ah.
Hope all is well with you, Mariana AMD Jack. Back at work at 6:30 AM. I'm convinced you have better hours than I do with more fun.
Thank you very much, Andy, for your kind words, and I'm so sorry you got to go to work so early, and especially if you just finish work as well. My goodness, that's not much time between the two, but I hope you can put your feet up now, crack a beer open, and enjoy the evening at least, Andy. And yeah, my hours when I am working in normal times, they're not that great, but at least I don't do too many deep night late flights, but right now I've got plenty of time off at least to do these streams, so thank you very much, buddy. Everything is expensive, but it's a big fat cargo I can cross the pond in. Mr. McSpooks is taking the Innie Builds 300, fantastic. Murray 871, which airline are you using? Air Contractors or Hunting Tom? We're using Alpaca Airways Cargo. We have a growing fleet for all your cargo needs. It's going to be far too dark outside to see the livery. You can just about see it. Did I not turn all the lights off? Let's turn off lights, that's one. even with the full moon, it's not illuminating this livery. Logo light should be off as well. But Alpaca Airways cargo. You can even grab yourself a copy for your FlyJSim 727.
Clear Dijon 2, Romeo arrival, when ready, descending 160, easy 155.
Hi Steve, hope you're doing well. Good evening, boss, and everyone, he says. Hologram, you'd love to see a Pilatus, whatever stream of you. I do. Okay, cool. Pilatus scary. Turboprops. Well, anyway. Best show you where we're routing to, shouldn't I, on the INS? I've been kind of leaving it to it. So routing from waypoint 1 to 2. Just got my flight plan out here. So in between now, Arles in Ibodi. So we're currently 4 minutes from Ibodi, 27 miles. Just reopen Navigraph for you here. There you go. So there's waypoint 2. We're going to make a right turn to Gotted. We can probably tune up a VR backup here. So yeah, we're going over Colomiers. Look, we can tune this up on box 2, 12.9.
137. 575, Swiss data, but an RB guide identified cloud flight level 380. Control level 380, triple 575.
So there's the DME distance from Charlie Lima Mike, all backed up, which is great. Oscar, is this Flight Simulator 2020? It isn't, it's X-Plane 11. We do occasionally stream Flight Simulator 2020, but the kind of bread and butter of my channel is me flying complex commercial jet aircraft like this. Which are just going to have to wait a little bit longer, perhaps, for aircraft like that, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Wilhelm, you'll have to train my pronunciations of those letters. I'm not going to even attempt it. Wilhelm, I'm afraid to admit my knowledge of languages is not that great. I really didn't do that well at school of languages. English fine, but. And the rest of it, but languages, nope.
I'll confirm my call for no further rate. Less than moment.
Unicom 122.8 on Packer 5, Mike out. Thanks to the ATC, buddy. Good night.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Over to Unicom then. I should think London will have some ATC later though. There we go. So, how are we progressing? We are now airborne. We didn't make a note of the time. It didn't start the timer either. And because I've been chatting away for you, look at this, guys. Mach 0.85. Absolutely love this aircraft. So fast. But that's mostly because I forgot to reduce thrust slightly. So I'll take the M1 down a little bit, but I want to go keep a good pace here. Look at that. We'd be exceeding MMO in the 737. This thing's just like a blunt bullet. It's so fast. 0.85, 0.84, no problem for this beast. Emi, are you still in climb thrust? No. What are you on about? France is in VATSIM lockout. Yeah, it looks like it. I've just checked online. There's no ATC. There's actually no centre control at all. We've got East Midlands ground online. That's unusual for a Friday night. Usually London is absolutely buzzing. Because it was an impromptu stream, I didn't really plan this ahead. I just started the sim and went for it. Delano, this has been good so far. Thank you very much for your positive feedback. Bjorn, that explains the bare engines. Climb thrust from about from when I set takeoff power, or 1,000 feet for the rest of the sector, pretty much. Emo, you've got it. Nothing to see here. Cool, blimey. It's like we're rolling out of formation. Look at that turn. Very steep. Wicked. So now we have France. I'll show you on Navigraph. I just didn't realise you had any of this on Navigraph until quite recently. Very worthwhile investment, I think, if you're taking your simming seriously. So routing now, inbound. You can't see the name of the waypoint, so you can. Go, Ted. Dijon here to the left. We're going to be flying just the east of Paris. Over Amiens, crossing the Channel. Hastings. waking up everyone here. Everyone's tea will be rattling in their mugs right over the top of London. Look at that, awesome. And then descending there, pretty much it's the M1 motorway. Look, we follow to East Midlands Airport, and then we'll brief all this later how we're going to fly it as well. Ansi, very good afternoon to you, stateside. Just popping in, I'll be a little busy today. President's in town. Very busy, Ansi, my goodness. But I hope you're doing well, buddy. A hologram, how much effect will the fuel if you're inclined for us all the way? I think asking about the fuel burn. I mean, yeah, obviously drag increases proportionally with speed, so if you keep going faster, your parasitic drag will increase quite a bit, and your fuel burn will significantly increase if you start going a lot over your planned max speed. I was planning on going 0.80, I'm doing about 0.84. I should think I'll probably just go that a little bit faster, burning around 5-10% extra fuel. But so far so good. Let's see if the edge condition will be in the red when we hopefully arrive. Negative. Hopefully not. Are we doing a Halloween special bus or go around? I think Oliver's saying. So yeah, tomorrow, guys, 3 PM, I will be flying into Berlin Tegel. It is the last overload event FlyJSim Germany are hosting for Berlin Tegel. It's to do with the fact in real life, I think it's tomorrow, the Brandenburg airport in Berlin finally opens after about 10 years delayed. And that effectively is going to be closing Tegel. Schönenfeld, the other German airport, will be merged into Berlin, Brandenburg. So they're hosting an event all day tomorrow afternoon. And I did get an email about a week ago inviting the alpaca clan to Tegel. So I thought, oh great, that would be a nice way to stream. We'll take the Zebo mod. The Zebo mod has been updated to 3.44 now, which I'm yet to test out. And I'm not going to say where I'm departing from, just because it's going to be super busy. And I can't have the stream delayed too much because I'm streaming early afternoon because I am actually flying on Sunday in real life. I'm doing a very short morning sector. I should be done by midday, but it is a very early start, so I don't want the stream to be too delayed. And it'll be so busy going into Tegel. I'm expecting like holding in excess of an hour, so I won't say where I'm departing from. It's something I'm just withholding to the Discord members only, just to keep it a little bit quiet there. Gary the Bean says, how's life? Very well, Gary the Bean. Good evening, said Captain Jack as well. Bjorna, increase, you don't want to go above 90%. One trick I learned is that a quick cruise is usually very close to £2,500 fuel burn per engine. Very interesting, Bjorna. Bjorna's great because he's provides lots of feedback on crap like this and tests them in the side. He's helped me in the past fix loads of things here. I mean, what are we burning at the moment? Yeah, we're burning in excess of £2,500 an hour, about 2,800 each. So this is not efficient at all, but Alpaca Airways, we get the fuel on the cheap anyway. We'll take the higher Mach number. But yeah, once the engine's running up here, they're just above 90% N1. We just take it a tad back. I mean, to be fair, even a turbojet engine like this, they run most efficiently at higher N1s anyway. But probably going a little bit too fast. Rick Wise, Tegel closing. Well, they've built a huge, massive international airport to replace the two smaller airports, or three smaller airports, I should say, in Berlin. It was meant to be finished 8-10 years ago, but due to all sorts of bureaucratic issues and overspend of money, the airport's been laying there pretty much finished for 6 or 7 years, just empty. Finally getting around to opening it. Probably the worst possible time to open an international airport like that. Well, Berlin will open after 30 years after the announcement of building the airport. Shaz, where are we going? Going to East Midlands Airport, Echo Golf November X-Ray. The reason I chose this sector and the sector before when we first flew here from East Midlands is because it's a very common cargo run completed by DHL, two massive DHL hubs at both airports. Cal 74, Xbox Game Pass first month trials $1, and that includes the new FlyJSim. I think that's well known, but yeah, good idea to share if anyone that's not known. So you can try out Microsoft Flight Simulator for $1, which is good. Avioman's here, says hello FlyJSim and friends, good evening to you. Luke Bailey, have you seen the threshold level up? I have heard of it, and again, I'm not directly involved with that. From what I understand, it's pretty much the Zebo mod with different models, and I think they'll all fly like the Zebo mod, so I might just test for Zebo directly, which is the core of that sim. But, we might have a fly of it for a bit of a fun. Take the baby 600 or something. So yeah, we'll stream Berlin Takeoff tomorrow. Sunday I'm working on early. I might do something Sunday evening. We'll see. Like I said, I've got this very occasionally, once every 6 months, we'll stream something else. And Marianne and my partner's been begging me to do a Euro Truck Simulator stream, so I might do a one-off fun stream. If it's successful, I might do a few more. So we'll start our company called Alpaca Logistics. We've decided. See if we can do any trucking sim. I've also bought because it was on promotion in Steam for £3. I bought all the expansion packs for like carrying ridiculously big loads, so that could be quite fun, I think. The only thing is I don't have a wheel. I've got an Xbox controller, but that does work, or I think I've tested it before and it seemed to be alright. K-Bar for hello, how many aircraft have you flown in real life other than the 737? That's the only commercial jet airliner I've flown. Approaching 5,000 hours flying the 7.3. Apart from that, Seneca for the instrument rating, Cessna 150, 172, Warrior, PA-28. That's it. Gliding as well. But that was something like 15 or 20 years ago now. Fabian, hey there, just saw your awesome video on Instagram. Will you fly this winter at all? Thank you very much, Fabian. I hope you're doing well, and obviously I know your flight training's been curtailed in some way. I'm sure it has. Yeah, I am flying. I'm flying Sunday, but we've all had hugely reduced rosters. We have to have blocks of unpaid leave, and we've all gone part-time. But for November at the moment, I have 3 flights, or no, 4 flights, I think, sort of right at the end of November, which is not quite as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I was expecting maybe 2 max, 3, but yeah, that's the way it is. It always gets a little bit quieter in the winter. Here anyway, but very, very quiet. As I've said, I'm just very grateful just to have a job, a flying job, you know, that's it. Oh yeah, Kerbal Space Program, Alpaca Space Program, absolutely. The A300 needs quite a long runway, and if you do a truck stream, Mariana has to do a 737 stream. Well, Mariana wants to try driving one of the trucks. I've actually got the thumbnail. Do you want to see the thumbnail for it? Let's see if I can bring it up on Streamlabs. Hold on. I've made the thumbnail already. Just need to add a source to Streamlabs here. Hold on. Here it is. That's the thumbnail I made today. What do you think, guys? Might have a slight few changes, but yeah, we're going to start episode 1. It's not going to obviously replace the core of the sim, it's just a bit of fun. So yeah, we'll do that. If it's successful, we might do episode 2. The idea is we'll start the career mode from scratch. I'll have nothing, so I think on Euro Truck Simulator you don't have enough money to buy a truck at the start, so I'll have to find jobs, and I think I'll do the first stream up to the point where I buy my first truck. I have no knowledge on lorries or trucks, so you guys will have to tell me which one's the best one to purchase. Oh boy. Alpaca Farmer Simulator. Yeah, there's so many great games out there. I do. Oh, look at my speed looks. I've been chatting away. You guys are my eyes and ears and first officers. Tell me if my speed's dropping off. 0.81. It's alright, but I want to keep the speed up. Nice. Harry, how old are you? How long have you been flying for your current airline? I'm in my very early 30s, Harry, and I've been flying the 737 for just over 9 years. Or started my type rating just over 9 years ago. Nortski, make a separate playlist for it. Absolutely, Nortski. So I already have on my playlists. I have a new playlist I made quite recently called 737 Captain Plays, and the only one I've got under there is War Thunder. I did do some streams playing kind of like God, I don't play it anymore. I completely forgot what it was. Like first-person shooter, but I was very kind of just a bit detracted from the channel. I think keeping the theme with simulators, which I love playing, would work quite well. Doing some other stuff, I might make, if it works well, I might make a separate whole new playlist called, Euro Truck Sim, and make like a career, and we'll have like 10 episodes or something. Boss asked Mr. Fraser, our resident trucker. I should do, actually, shouldn't I? Depends what you need to haul. Scania or Volvo all day. I am a fan of Volvo, if you want to know the Volvo trucks. Silly chicken simulator. Stefan, you git. Alpaca City and Skylines. City Skylines, yeah, that's it. Alpacasville. Why is X-Plane a simulation, but then you say real pilot plays, all simulators are real business? Oh, of course, hologram, of course. Matt Glenford Alpaca Cargo run from Anchorage to LA, check off 2 new airports. Now, isn't it the old milk run along the kind of west coast up to Canada? Someone wants me to do that in the 200. The FlyJSim 200 should be quite cool. One of the reasons is I keep to Europe is because I generally fly it in the day, and I have all the ortho, and downloading ortho is such a pain for those of you, most of you I'm sure are aware of it. You know, keeping that updated, and then it doesn't always work. Beyond, you drove the Volvo FH60 at school, and I love it. That sounds pretty cool. But yeah, excuse my lack of trucking knowledge. I wouldn't tell you which one's the best. Captain Jack, what age did you start doing lessons, your own training before going to CAE Oxford? So my original plan, Captain Jack, was to do the modular route. So I got my PPL initially when I was 18. Started at 17, passed away. I was 18. I used to be into gliding before that, and I went hour building then for a year in the UK, and then I was going to go the modular way, but back then it was sort of, nowhere near that case now, it's sort of, though back then the airlines allegedly preferred integrated trained students, so that's the dedicated flight training course. Now I didn't have the money for that, so I had to convince my parents to take the loan. Now thankfully Oxford Aviation Academy had a really good relationship with a bank called the BBVA, the Spanish bank, and they had a scheme where you could borrow the money to pay for your integrated flight training course. And then upon completion of your MCC, you'd then have a year's wait until you had to start paying that loan off. And the great thing about this loan was if you did manage to get a job which involved having to pay for a type rating, they guarantee and extend the loan to cover the cost of the type rating, which is good for many people. So yeah, it's so much more expensive now as well. The loan I think I took was 75 or 80,000, and I only finished paying that off 4 years ago. It was a huge expense, but I wasn't from one of those places where, you know, money was added with play. I had to work for it. Oh goodness, as you well know, I sold chickens for 3 years all the time, like to try and save what money I could for the living expenses. But yeah, that's it. Very lucky, I think, and a lot's happened since then. So yeah. Delano, when will you land? I'd say we'll be landing in about an hour and a bit. We're just approaching Paris in about 30 minutes or so. So sad there's no ATC. It's all over. Look at that, just looking at the VATSIM map. Basically all of Europe is covered except the UK and France. The UK is one of the places where they always have ATC. And all of Germany, Poland, Eastern Europe has ATC. Will Devi, firstly, congratulations getting your private pilot's license a few weeks ago. Well, I did mine in an airfield called Fenland in the UK, Echo Golf Charlie Lima, I think, and they had a fantastic little scheme where you pay a lump sum and you buy blocks of hours, a wet figure for the aircraft. And for the Cessna 150, it was incredible. I think we got that for, I think it was £75 an hour wet, and there was a Cessna 172 for £105 an hour. Really good rates, and they were old, but they were well equipped. They had everything you needed for basic instrument navigation. No GPS though. When I did my R building, I really didn't want to use any of that. Just use dead reckoning, a map, and conventional navigation. Exactly like what we're doing today. And I got about 150 hours, but bulk built the flights. I, where possible, took my friends because they can cover up to half the cost as well. So a lot of my friends were like, yeah, let's go flying, I'll give you 20 quid. Or a lot of my family, my uncle, who I'm very close to, he did a lot of flying with me, and he used to be like, yeah, I'll give you a bit of money for the fuel. You can't profit from it because you don't have a commercial pilot's license, but they can pay up to half the cost. So that helped me out quite a bit. That's what it's all about. To be fair, Toulouse and Bordeaux are online. Yeah, those airports are. Oh, we do have a little bit of southwest France over Bordeaux, yeah. Not here, though. Can you guys hear the music on the stream? Probably not. I can just about hear it. Anyway, let's do a fuel check. Currently inbound to the Colomiers VOR, so you can see, look, the VOR is tuned on box 2, nav 2, 32 miles, and that roughly corresponds with the INS. We've got INS navigation and VOR cross check, and it's all pointing in the same direction. Let's have a look at the flight plan. There's Colomiers 112.9. So it'd be really interesting. Since I would do you a massive favour, go back when we took off and see what the time was, because I forgot to make a note of the time we got airborne, so we could work out how we're progressing. We should be ahead in time because the flight plan's based on us flying at point 8. We're bombing along at 0.84, 85, burning a hole in the atmosphere. Let's take a bit of thrust off there. Let's see how accurate the wind is in the simulator. So the wind at Colomiers, which is just ahead of us, should be 305 at 54. 255 at 46, not bad. I find it's usually a lot closer in real life, but wind speed's not bad at all. Actually, no, ignore me. This flight plan's over a day old, so this must be off.
20.
This must be off there.
10.
Thanks a lot, plain old Ben. For the £5, he says, loving the last minute stream. I'm sat enjoying it with a red wine and takeaway chicken. Nothing wrong with chicken, Ben. By the way, EMA ground control is a top lad. Fantastic. Thank you very much, plain old Ben, for your donation. I hope he's looking forward to our arrival and maybe a little bit busier. But yeah, it's nice to have some sort of ATC here. And as soon as we vacate, it'll hopefully give us a lovely clearance to a cargo stand. But thank you very much, Ben. Enjoy your evening and all the best to you, buddy. So yes, currently inbound to Colomiers. Let's bring up the Navigraph chats. So you got Navigraph chats, Navigraph charts. There we are. There's Paris. We can get rid of all these pinned charts now from Bergamo. So yeah, there we are. About halfway. Flight's going so far very smoothly. 1905, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, James and Mr. McSpooks and Leon Dehan. So, if we were airborne at 1905, approaching Colomiers. So we should be here airborne over Colomiers in 54 minutes. So airborne at 05. Plus 54 is 59, so we should be on the hour over Charlie Lima Mike, and you'll see, look, we're early, and you know why, because we haven't been doing 0.80, we've been flying at 0.84, so timing is making sense. We're about 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Which is exactly what I'd roughly expect, seeing the speed we're going. Also 8 miles away now, so fuel-wise we should have 7.2 tonnes. I'm going to do a bit of conversion here because it's all in pounds. Let's get my calculator out. Which I don't know where it is.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Have a look here. Thank you very much, Will Devy, whoever you are, for the £5 donation. Very kind of you, and I hope you're having a great evening. And thank you very much for your donation there. No comment associated with that, but thank you very much nonetheless. Right, anyway, I just need to times this by 2, divided by 2.2 effectively. But we've got, let's call it £7,000. £7,000. Let's call it £21,000 divided by 2, so about 10 tons, 8 tons. So we're fine. I'll do it exactly here. £21,000 divided by 2.2. 9,500 kilos we should have, and we have 7,000 pounds. So we're up 2.5 tons of fuel, which makes perfect sense because we took an extra 2.2 tons of fuel. So the fuel burn is exactly as expected. We should have burned 5 tons, and again, what was our block fuel? We can work it off backwards. Took an extra 2 tons. So 12 to, we took 14 tons, I think it was, or 14 and a half. Minus, what the fuel was there? Economy 8. 5 tons. So about 5 tons, 14.5, so 9 tons burned. We burned about 7, so that's all making sense. Hologram, someone flew on climb thrust. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, this is where you miss having a second pilot. You know, pilot monitoring would be doing all this, or in this case the engineer, working out all these calculations and stuff. But it's important to monitor your progress. To be fair, the 727 systems, they're quite automated. You know, it's more if something goes wrong, the engineer needs to redistribute fuel. The electrics are a lot more complicated. I think there's a little bit more management involved. I certainly know the 200, the 7.3 was a little bit more susceptible to having electrical issues. The NG is incredibly reliable. Very little needs to be done. Tripel, what's your ground speed? Again, that's thankfully we've got INS to work that out. So it's presently 473 knots. 472. Our true airspeed, I think, is over here. There is the true airspeed gauge on the 7.2. Oh my days, where is it? I know it's... There it is. True airspeed, so 483. Indicated airspeed is 280. Difference between that is because of air density, we're higher. That's what's important to us. But if you look at the static air temperature, it's that's the actual air. If you were sat outside the aircraft not moving, this is the temperature outside the aircraft, so minus 53. But the actual temperature measured by the aircraft is minus 20. Who in chat? We've said it so many times before. God, what's the difference? What's the difference between? Why is the actual temperature outside the aircraft minus 55, but the total air temperature minus 20? What's the difference between the two? Why is there an increase in temperature by 30 degrees? I'm sure many of you have been watching my streams should be able to hopefully answer. Did I hear someone murmur? I think I did. Friction, very good. I'll accept. Ram rise, compressibility. So the higher speed you go, all that generates friction. So obviously Concorde got so hot, but you've got it. Plus trims, freezers affecting it. Excellent. London controller is online now. Superb. God, I know what we haven't done in a long time is a quiz. And again, this Sunday, I'm flying. But yeah, if I do stream in the evening, it will probably be the Euro Truck Sim one. And I'll probably do a giveaway or something. I might give away a copy of the Euro Truck Sim. Hologram, not quite, not quite. Climb thrust is just because we were climbing that way. Climate change isn't the reason. That's a bit hotter. That's a good one though. Mick, is it usual that you get a direct to a waypoint that's not on your assigned start? Very occasionally can happen, Mick, but very unlikely. Typically they'll give you a direct routing on your existing start, but it does happen occasionally. You just essentially enter it into the FMC and execute. Steve Mayer, boss of the 737, what would you say was a rough average for distance? Would be an hour's fuel of 2.4 tons. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you just sat in a straight line with no external factors like wind, say about 450 nautical miles, 500. Again, we have tables to confirm those distances. Simon Lim is, you have a steering wheel? Unfortunately not. Mariana is begging me to get a steering wheel. She just walked in so she could do some truck simming. So the first one, probably, well, I'll use my Xbox controller. Actually, I've tested it. It works reasonably quite well. But the only thing is I have to have the settings on like the easiest settings because I can't change gears or anything. Marcus, oh, I just flew that route, but the other way around. Was that you and the Ryanair aircraft landing on Vatsim? We did actually fly that exact sector 2 weeks ago in the 727. This is actually the first ever time I've done a return sector, so I'm going to have to put that on my map later. There's going to be a line there already. I don't think I've ever done a there and back in 2 separate streams. I've done plenty of 2 sector there and backs, but all in one stream. If you're doing Euro Truck Sim, I would recommend a steering wheel. Yeah, I need to get one, and I need to clamp it down somewhere. But I have a hard floor in the office, so if I get some pedals, I'm going to be slipping back in my chair. It's got wheels on it. If it's successful, because I quite like to do some racing games as well, which would be quite funny, especially with some of the members of the channel and stuff. Dirt Rally, oh no. Wait, your second half is begging you to get PC hardware? What a legend. Did you hear that, Mariana? Apparently you're a legend because you're begging me to get PC software. She really wants to have it on the truck sim. She thinks you'd be really good. Damn it, usually it's a 30-minute delay because she's listening to the stream, but she actually heard me live. You need some chocks. Yeah, I do. If I get some chocks, then I'll have the chair. Sorry. What's for dinner? I'm in trouble. No, don't pull the power cable out now, joking. Andy, pedals and a wheelie chair don't work, trust me. Ugh, okay. Yeah, I definitely need to get them chocked. Luke Bailey just got the special cargo expansion for Euro Truck Simulator. Yeah, I bought all 3 because they were like £3. They were 75% off. So I don't know how long it takes me to be able to unlock those missions. So I was having a play of Euro Truck Sim earlier just to practice for a potential stream. But the idea is I'll start from scratch when I stream it. You can watch the company grow. I have to wait to take a loan out to buy my own truck. And then I think I'll probably have to wait to level up to get those sort of loads. Because I saw the expansion pack I got. I saw that I can carry like boats, large ships and stuff, like 60-ton ships, and you can get like escorts and stuff. That sounds really cool. 2 tons of back to flight into Japan. Unbelievable. Takeout. I like your talking, Simon Rubens. Richard Harris, buy a slip tray mat to go under the pedals and they don't slip. To be fair, Richard, it's exactly what I have under the rudder pedals. There's stuff from IKEA. There's other anti-slip mats available. But yeah, you can just move the rudders like that. I'm still flying the plane. I just tried the rudders there, but I completely forgot. I'm at 34,000 feet. I moved the rudder pedals. I have 1,000 hours in Euro Truck Sim and it inspired me to get you Class 1. That's really cool, Stuart. Awesome. Oh yeah, London Centre is online now. I've just completely flown over Paris without noticing as well. Well, not that you can really see much, but yeah, completely pitch black. Cool. Right, we need to think about setting up and planning an ascent here, as we're approaching London. Delano, we're almost there yet. About 45 minutes, buddy. That's a good point. If I put it all the way down, do we get ground return? That's so cool. Look, you get the ground return from the weather radar thing. So when you're in the cruise like this, you want the weather radar. Weather's not accurately depicted in desktop simulators, and it's all very non-random. It's all very much like scattered clouds, all identically spaced and stuff. But essentially, weather radar usage on takeoff and approach close to ground, you've had the tilt quite high, looking for storms. And as you progressively climb, you reduce the tilt, and the cruise you have it around -1 until you get a little bit of ground return around 80 miles away. And that means that anything in between that ground return and the aircraft in the black is a cell, essentially. It's quite simple, really. Weather radar is all about, storm avoidance, trying to avoid any cells and activity. Now, thankfully in Europe, it's, there's a lot of thunderstorms around times of year in particular places, but nowhere near as bad as you get in North America and Europe, in Asia, sorry. So it's something to bear in mind. Is it Boga this time? What's the time? 8:10. We'll see, Stephen. It's been a while since we've done a Boga, and it's not a Sunday either. We'll see. This is going to be in a precarious break. Actually, what's the weather in East Midlands? No, not too bad. Broken at 2,200. There is tempos for rain and low cloud base, but it's not too bad. The forecast looks worse. Right, anyway. This is going to fly this arrival via Welling, Velag, and there's a hold here. That's where the arrival terminates at Pickett, but we're not going to fly that today. We're going straight onto the ILS. There's an ATC, we need to fly the transition here, but we're not going to enter the hold via Piggott. We're going to go straight outbound and intercept the radial from Daventry, 16.4. So what I'm going to do is put 16.4 active now on box 1 and 2. ILS on standby. ILS 27. So 10935. Boga, please. Boga, please. Who wants Boga? Cool. Some ADF action as well. 353. Minimums on push up here. 482. I'll stick in 200 here. That way we'll get the MDA light happen at the exact minimums. Which is the ILS 482. Just a little bug you can set here, unfortunately. Stick it there, that's good. Alright, so let's see where we're navigating to now. So inbound between waypoint 6 and 7, so in between Abnir and Biggin. In fact, Biggin, it's around 50 miles from this waypoint. I want to initiate our descent. So about 5 minutes from now, really. I'll just keep the FlyJSim map up just in case we get contacted. So, let's bring up the charts. Here we are currently on the Upper Tango 10 airway, inbound to Biggin. 50 miles from Biggin, I want to initiate our descent. Now, I'm not going to tune the VOR for Biggin because we're going to use INS, and I want it all set up for this approach, this procedural approach. So when we're 50 miles from Biggin, we're going to initiate our descent, which will be about here, from 34,000 feet. INS waypoint wise, we're going to go from Biggin all the way to Welland, and that's where INS navigation terminates. So that's sort of the initial part of the arrival. So there's Welland. Did we? Yeah, sorry. Welland's Velag's the penultimate waypoint. So when we get to Velag, what I'm going to do, the full procedural arrival, if it was busy, you'd go Velag to upduck, and then you'd take a left turn and hold at Biggin. You'd only do that if it was extremely busy or there was something stopping you from landing at the airport. So we're not going to fly that. What we're going to do is, approaching Velag, we'll stop using INS. I'm going to maintain runway heading, and from there we're going to carry on this track. You see this line here until we're 28 from Daventry, and we're going to aim to be at flight level 80 at 25 miles from Daventry, which is behind us, remember, here at 16.4. And then we follow outbound the 006 radial from Daventry. Now I can't change that at the moment because we're on INS, but I will change it over here. So 00. Oops. What am I doing? I'm getting very confused. 006. So we're going to fly out of 006, then we're going to rely on that distance from Daventry, which you'll see here, to fly outbound, and we have to step down at each DME distance here. So 28 miles from Daventry, you can go down to 70, 33 from Daventry, 5,000, 36 miles from Daventry, so you need to be at 4,000 feet, and at 38 miles from Daventry, we can make that left turn onto the approach for ILS-27. Now, that should be quite a short final. I think that takes us within 7 miles. So we're going to make sure we're fully configured here with flap before we make that left turn. And we should, at 38 miles, when we initiate that turn, roll out onto the localizer, in theory. So that should all work there. And then we pass the NDB and land. So that's the arrival. Nice arrival to fly conventionally. And I don't think I've ever done a distance step down approach procedurally. Now obviously if ATC comes online, great. We can scrap all that and get vectors, but it looks like London Centre's extended out to there, so they might be able to give us some vectors anyway. But that's what we're going to do if there's no ATC available, to fly that procedurally. And then onto the ILS, which is pretty much all tuned. Because it's conventional, I have to wait last minute to set the courses, 269. Minimums we've set 482, 200 feet AGL. Highest MSA to the northwest of 2,700 feet. And pretty much it. If we have to go around, we climb straight ahead till 3,000 feet or 8.8 DME, whichever's earlier. So most likely we'll get to 3,000 feet before 8.8 miles, so that will be the deciding factor. And then you make a right turn back to the NDB to hold, or as directed, which will possibly most likely be vectors for another approach there. Thanks a lot, Dave Hagen, for getting the weather. So you can see, look, winds variable 2 knots, 10k of visibility, broken at 2,200 feet. Temperature's 11, and the QNH is 1017, so that's great. I'll make a big note of the QNH, which I need to remember to set when we get closer. So that's it. Landing performance. Runway 27, there's an exit here, Sierra. It's a bit ambitious. It's about 1,400 metres. Mike's around 2,000-ish, and then full length, so if you miss that, that's fine. And we'll see where there is ground online. We'll just see where he wants to park us. We'll keep the parking stands up, and that's it. Oh, there's too many parking stand charts. Well, I've got them in front of me anyway, so we can use that. Cool. Delana, how do I get this game? So you need to look for X-Plane 11. This aircraft, FlyJSim, it's usually about $70, but it is on sale today. I think it's on sale all weekend. I'm trying to be a professional streamer here. It's for $41.95 at the moment for the 7.2, which is very good value for money. But you don't even need to get an aircraft like this. You've got aircraft like the Zebo mod, which I frequently stream and fly in, which is an accurate application of the 737. It's completely free. Wicked, so over UK now. Hopefully I'll get a ping soon for some ATC. That's London straight ahead of us. No controllers yet online here. That's it. Mr. Mixbing, so yeah, you were talking about the interactive map. Doesn't Sim Toolkit log flights for you? I think it does, but I only use it for the overlay, so I don't use any of the other features. But I think it's quite a powerful tool. I think it does a lot of flight logging for you, and you can see all sorts of bits of information, but I only use it for the overlay. Alex, will you do the return leg? I won't be, I'm afraid. Just the one sector this evening. I have actually done the first sector 2 weeks ago, so I think it was about 4 or 5 videos ago. A strange, Brad Telemon, strange music, yeah, it was a little bit. A.G. Harrison, how long to landing? About 35 minutes. I know, that's all what you're here to see. I guess I'll see about Boga. If you're wondering what on earth is Boga, every Sunday when we stream on a Sunday, we have a quiz, we do a giveaway, and we also do the butter or go around challenge, where if I don't achieve a butter, I have to go around, which in this aircraft could be interesting because you're going to be very smooth adding thrust. Wilhelm, can I look at the engine condition and have a look at how they're doing? Absolutely fine, look fair. 22 hours spinning. There's the capital of the UK. It's only London West Centre that's online, so your route's further east, so you're not going to enter his airspace. Ah, dang it. So just ground? Wow. In fact, you can see Heathrow. There's London Heathrow. Even done that once all sector. So yeah, these are the aircraft or other aircraft on VATSIM. It's really nice how X-Plane have implemented this. Busy in Heathrow, look, as ever. American Airlines just taking off, I think. There's an aircraft just below us, look. See if we can find him. I don't have the labels turned on. Well, I hope he's not the same altitude as us. Anyway, can't see him. So, approaching top of descent point, 50 miles away. Paul Yusuf, you've just landed in Heathrow, awesome. 2 tons left, do you not have the European white light mod? I guess not. I think it's just all stock. 007 for what airline do you fly for? Love your streams, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Tripoli, for your kind words. I just don't disclose what it is. My airline is well aware of what I do. I just, for personal reasons, don't wish to mention who I fly for. Just down to the fact I don't want you asking me, you know, where's my claim bag, or I lost my bag on your flight. Can you talk to your boss? I mean, I don't want any of that involvement. But I have the pleasure of being allowed to do this, which is great. Yeah, if you really want to know, it's Japan Airways. Alpaca Airways Limited. Hologram, he's at flight level 150. Cool. Thanks, 2 tons of low as well. There we go, 20 miles from top of descent. Sky looks nice. Yeah, it's not too bad. I have the Vivid Sky preset, which it gives you the correct amount of lighting for the clouds. Now, because I think we have a full moon, the clouds would look just like this on a night like this. And I think when there isn't a full moon in the sim, again they darken. Scotty Tissue, wondering what your thoughts are on VR as a proper training sim. Now, I'm personally not a fan of virtual reality. For me, it makes me feel sick after a short while. I seem to like it on other things, but not so much fly simming. But everyone keeps telling me, try it out, it's fantastic. So I'd like to see what it's like, and I've got a few of the members who are really into it. So yeah, I've heard good things, but I can't give you a personal opinion on it because I've never actually tried it. Approaching top of descent. And there's 50 miles, so there's no ATC. So what's our first restriction on our chart? So we've got restriction at Hemel to be 220, which I don't think we're routing to, if not flight level 80 by Piggott. So let's stick in 80 here. And arm the altitude. And we'll start slowly reducing that thrust now to idle. Get your top of descent in chat. And we'll maintain in descent, yeah, 280 knots should do us quite nicely. Get that warning horn again. Slowly reducing thrust. Cancel that. Oops, did I push out? Oh no, I didn't put indicated airspeed horn in. There we go. Now the aircraft will start descending. Cool. So we've got INS distance, okay, so we're routing between waypoint 7 and 8. Waypoint number 8 is Welling. So INS is currently routing us directly to this waypoint here. With 35 miles to go, and then we're going to get to Velag next. And that restriction, remember, for 80 is to be level at Piggott, which is all the way entering the hold here, so we're actually probably a little bit high. This should roughly correspond with our top of descent point based off total track miles to the runway. Daventry, you'll notice, obviously, the VR which this approach is based off is to the south, so you'll see we'll cross 90 degrees to Daventry, passing Welling, and then to Velag. There is a speed limit point, that's what SLP stands for at Welling. Should be... cross speed limit point 3 minutes before holding at 250 knots or less, so bring speed back to 250 essentially. Right over top of London. Obviously it's just default X-plane. Dave Hagen, how do you know when to descend on a 727 or 732, as there is no top of descent like the NG and Max and many other modern aircraft has? Good question, Dave Hagen. I'm just simply using the 3 times table, the only times table you ever need to need in aviation. You just take your distance from the destination and times it by 3. We're at 34,000 feet, let's call it 35,000 feet for cash. Times that by 3, 105. That's around 105 miles away you want to initiate your top of descent by. If you have a look here on the flight plan. Shouldn't be too far off, I've not even looked. Top of descent, distance remaining 112. There you go, 105, 112. It's all very rough, but it certainly works. So you can see, look, Big In. I'm actually passing Big In first, but yeah, that's roughly where it should correspond to. Oliver Charles, what grade did you get in maths? I got a GCSE B. Mr. McSpooks, you're going to be flying just over west of my town in Welling. I'll give you a wave. Thank you. Oh. Good evening, FlyJSim. East Midlands approach is online. 134170. Lovely. Might get vectors in the end. East Midlands approach, good evening, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. Currently descending flight level 80 and currently inbound to Welling.
Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, East Midlands rate of evening. It's Pilot 1 Juliet arrival. Expect vectors CILS approach runway 27. Descend flight level 100, level by Belag.
At flight level 100, for Picket 1 Juliet, expect vectors ILS 27, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. That makes my life so much easier, setting flight level 100. And he wants level by Velag. So what we need to do is kind of work backwards here. Was that level by Welling? Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, just confirm the restriction 100 by Welling.
My apologies, sorry, the restriction flight level 100, level by Belag.
He might have said it, I couldn't remember. Flight level 100 by Velag, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. I can't remember that.
That's alright, not to worry.
Right, 100 by Velag. So we know that we've programmed waypoint number 9 as Velag, so we've got 1 minute to go. We're actually a little bit high here. So what we're going to do is pull that speed brake out.
Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha, actually disregard the previous, descend flight level 100 and leave Welling heading 345.
Descend flight level 100, disregard restriction, and after Welling heading 345 degrees, Alpaca 5, Mike Alpha. So 345. So half a minute from Welling, so yeah, a little bit high on that one, but Velag's the next restriction 100. Now this rate of descent here is a bit excessive, but then again, I've got full speed brake out. You can get 5,500 feet out of a 737, but I think it was a little bit late with the restriction there. Anyway, there is Welling. We would have just about made 100 by Velag. Out of curiosity, I just want to check how far away we were. Probably going to be 3 minutes. It would have been tight. I screwed that descent planning up slightly. Anyway. Oh, crikey, yeah. Where's the INS taking me now? Well, anyway, you should maintain heading. So what happened there? 524 miles away. I think I inserted the wrong waypoint there, but that's lucky because we're on a heading now anyway. We should have been doing 250 knots. Oh my. This is why it's always nice to test sectors first. Hold on, I think I know why I screwed up the descent. because I said start the descent of 50 miles from Biggin, and I think I might have been using the DME distance from Daventry. I think that's why. Did I use 50 miles? No, I think I used 50 miles an hour. It's not too far off, but we're a bit high now. We'll bring the speed back to 250, keep the speed brake up, and what we're going to do is tune up Daventry. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to put the courses now for the ILS 269. Let's turn that off. And it's really nice because you can have the distance from Daventry to work out when you should be intercepting the localizer. So when you're 38 miles from Daventry, you're roughly...
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, descend flight level 80.
Descend flight level 80, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So when you're 38 miles from Daventry, you can expect the localizer to come up. So we'll make sure we've definitely got that tuned. This course is one set for now, so 269, 269. And yeah, we've both got Daventry active now, both boxes 16 for the ILS there. So again, you know how close you are because 38 miles from Daventry. Let's get the speed brake out now. Just going to arm it. Checked. It's already engaged out hold. So yeah, when we're 38 miles from Daventry, we know we should be approaching the localizer. So that's the best way of doing it. Remember, this isn't showing the ILS just yet. And we're levelling off here at 80, tad above 250. Did you put in 100 west? Maybe, Neville. But yeah, that waypoint was very far away, so 500 miles, which is why it's so important to be very careful inputting ILS waypoints. Thankfully, it was the last one, and I was already on vectors, so it's not the end of the world. Right, there's flight level 80. Speed back, slowly add a bit of thrust in, do the post-cruise checks now. The workload in this aircraft compared to the Zebo is just on another scale.
Straight on, very unit 230, FedEx 512, approaching Alpha 1, runway 27, report departure.
So it's all cargo traffic.
Alpha 137 radar leaving, I'll call you back in a second, break. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, descend flight level 70, turn right heading 355.
7 flight level 70, right heading 355 degrees, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So it's just 7,000 feet. Let's go IS hold again. And we'll bug that speed just to 230 knots so the aircraft descends. Just there, and we have armed the altitude. There we go. If you don't arm it, the aircraft will go straight through the level. Bit of cloud here. A smidge of engine anti-ice on. There we go. So descending at 230 knots.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha 25, track mark, descend to altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1017.
Descend altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1017, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So arm again, IS holds engaged. I'm just going to close the thrust levers.
40,
Thank you very much,
30,
sir. Give me 2
20,
seconds.
10.
1017. Oh, why did I not set the other 2 altimeters?
East Midlands radar, good evening, Ryanair 534, information Yankee, flight level 200
217. Perfect, so QNH is set 6,000 feet. Okay, looking okay. So remember that distance I told you guys? 38 miles from Daventry, we should be approaching localizer. We're at 27, so another 10 miles to go.
Ryanair 534, expect vectors, the ILS approach, runway.
Tal Londescu, thanks again for the continued support. Thank you very much for your donation, sir. Ian Doherty, are you going to do across the pond on the 14th? I am planning on doing so, sir.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, descend to altitude 5,000 feet.
Descend altitude 5,000 feet, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
FedEx 512, report your passing altitude.
Passing 1,300.
What we're going to do now is switch to the ILS on box 1. So it's yet to identify, but we still have the distance here to make sure that we know where we're tracking localizer. So yeah, you can see where we are. Look, it's pretty much the vectors are corresponding to where we go. They're giving us these altitude clearances basically under vectors. We're looking okay. I'm going to probably bring the speed back now, so we can start getting some flaps out as soon as we get further descent. And the last thing I need to do is just our landing performance. Use flap 30, set bugs. There we go. So if we fly, not much wind today, 134 knots. I was hoping it to be a bit more exciting weather this evening, but it's not been the case. Aviation team says hello, good day to you. There's the localizer coming alive.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, descent altitude 3,000 feet.
Set altitude 3,000 feet, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So 3,000 feet is set. IS hold, that is armed. So let's get some flaps out now. Let's go flaps 2 initially. So we're a little bit high here. Just going to bug 220 and go straight to flap 5. Let's get a little bit of speed break out as well. Oh yeah, I forgot the FlyJSim. You can't use speed brake and flaps at the same time. It moans at you. We'll arm it instead, and we'll just take an extra notch of flaps, flap 15. Shouldn't be using flaps to slow down, but it'll increase the lift and drag, but that's working out nicely.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, turn left heading 305, descent altitude 2,000 feet. Cleared ILS approach runway 27.
Heading 305 degrees, descent altitude 2,000 feet on that heading, cleared ILS 27, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. Okay, very saturated there.
Turn right heading 090.
Look at that, glide slope, right the glide slope, yeah, get in, get in.
9090, speed 220, FedEx 512.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, when established, speed 180 knots till 60 ME.
180 till 6 when established, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. So I'm going to bug 180 now, and I'm going to directly control vertical speed using the little knob here, just to stay on the glide slope. Look at that for a CDA. So I'm just using that vertical speed knob to stay on the glide slope. I'm just going to take a... Oh, speed's coming back to 180, that's okay. Into the IMC. Ooh, lovely, into the fog. So localizer alive, localizer capture, we'll set runway heading.
Speed 2,000 knots, please dip to heading 125.
He wants 180 knots.
I just firmly dip by heading 135.
Glide slope is armed, so it should capture shortly. So I need to add thrust manually here. Have I got sufficient fuel? Yeah, we've got 15,000 pounds. Glide slope capture then, Mr. Push.
Runway 27, surface variable 1 knot cleared to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. You set the Mr. Approach altitude. Oh my goodness, there we are, 3,000 feet set. He wants 180 till 6. My goodness, oh my speed's running away. 6 miles. We're going really fast. I'm going to have to drop the gear here. Speed ran off there because I forgot to reduce it. Right, that should work. That should work out for us. The gear is a fantastic giver of drag. Look at that, very bright. I mean, a full moon can provide a lot of illumination with that much. Right, 5 miles, 180 knots, a bit fast, but it's all working out well. Just let the speed run away ever so slightly. I mean, just pointed myself there. Right, flap 20. What's the flap placard speed for flap 20? It is 205 knots. It's such a brutish aircraft. You can just bring the flaps out at such high speed. Flap 30. You can use 185 knots. Absolutely outrageous. Right, let's go flap 30. Start adding that thrust.
Flight 340, descent flight level 70.
Speed there. Suppetitive landing checks. Recall there isn't one. Speed brakes armed. Landing gears down 3 green. Flaps we have 30 green light. Lights are on. Checks complete. Localizer's a bit left of centre line. Interesting. Anyway, let's go have some fun. Disconnecting. Flight controls. Not bad. I'm very happy with the CDA. Straight onto localizer and glide slope. Just let the speed run away a little bit there. I think we're doing around 200 knots at 7-8 miles, which is not too bad. It's well within limits. And the great thing is on an aircraft like the 7.2, it's so strong. You can just bring the flaps out. They've got such high flap placard speeds. I mean, you can just look at that flap 30, which would be 185 knots. So fast. 157 in the 7.3. Right, 130 knots, all stabilised, clear to land. Sceneries from Orbeck skies. Forgot to turn the music off.
500.
Checked. 2 res 2 is looking good. There's the M1 motorway.
Minimums.
Continue. No MDA light for some reason. Tad high. Small corrections at this stage.
100. 50. 40.
Start riding it out because it's at 17.
20.
Hold and
Yeah.
close and hold. Come on. Oh my goodness. Minus 50. Speed brakes up. Reverses. I forgot to set the order brake, no problem.
Right, F53426, truck
Look at
miles,
that.
descent altitude 5,000 feet, heading 135.
Speed brakes up, reverses, not using any brakes. There's 60 knots. Slowly back to line. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East Midlands Airport with a minus 50, the smoothest ever 727 landing we've ever had. We'll take the next left here.
Right, heading 235, FX512.
Speed brakes up, flaps can come up. You beauty! Try not to come to a stop.
512, descent altitude 2,000 feet, on heading
Yeah, don't forget to put the reverses away. Always do that in desktop sim. Whoops, bit too much for us there. Almost perfect there.
FX512, when established, speed 180 knots till 60 ME.
Great.
When established, speed 16, correction 180 knots for speedway 1512. Outback 5 Mike Alpha, hold Mike 2, contact East Midlands ground now 121.9, good evening.
Hold Mike 2, 1219 out, back of 5 Mike Alpha Pike. Excellent.
Right, F534, speed 220 knots.
So I'm going to make a left turn here.
220, run F53.
And
Run F534, turn left heading 120 degrees.
Mike 2 is essentially just there, so literally have to hold
Left
right
heading
here just to
120
contact
degrees,
ground.
run
Cool.
F53.
Let's go over to ground 1219 it, which I forgot was online. I always try and preset the controls where I can. Very realistic to stop on the taxiway. I think it's my mouse wheel. It's like setting the missed approach altitude. I'm just having to click now because it keeps rolling past it. Ground, good evening. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha vacated runway 27 at Mike.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha East Midlands ground, hello. Do you have a standard preference?
Anyway, on the east apron, please. Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha.
Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha, Rogers taxi, stand 75 via Alpha.
Stand 75 via Alpha, Alpaca 5 Mike Alpha. Thank you very much. Excellent.
No worries.
Superb. Nice to get full ATC. Brilliant. Right, we'll pop the strobes off. And I'm going to the east apron because, if you remember guys, that is where we started the FlyJSim stream last time. And we just need to find out where stand 75 is. Awesome. That landing was awesome. Really nice, bit of a float, but we always sacrifice a bit of a runway length for floating in desktop simulators, otherwise I get the mean comments come through after the video. I do love reading them though. Right, there's the East Apron then. Stand 75, there we are, so we'll go in via uniform and then park there. Wicked. Nice, you got it, butter. You got it. But yeah, hope you enjoy these streams anyway. Sorry I didn't give any heads up on this. Sometimes, and I think especially now with so much time off, I'll be able to give you a bit more time and notice. But I do occasionally, you know, we make no plans, and if something happens, I say, you know what, let's do a stream. So thank you very much again, Barry. Let's get that APU up and running. There's an aircraft coming into land as well. Here he comes. I've done the rest of the cleanup, just the trim to reset. Probably best not concentrate concentrate on his landing, concentrate on our taxiing. And those, well, you see it's moving around very quickly. It's one of the things I wish they could fix. But, otherwise, I do love this aircraft, guys. It's a very rewarding, if difficult, aircraft to fly. Yeah, it's especially now good time to grab it because it's on discount all weekend. I think FlyJSim are having a promotion for Halloween. It's only $40 or something to grab this aircraft. And, it's a lovely aircraft to stream in and very rewarding to fly. The reason I wanted to fly it so soon is because I still haven't completely forgotten how to fly it as well. It's being so long. Not being so long since I last flew it. Right, there's stand 75. There we are. First time we've seen the aircraft all night. I've got to turn the strobes off, but looks as well. Right, parking brake is set. I thought I had turned them off. There we are. Put the AP on the bus. There we are. So AP is now providing the electrical power. Let's put this over to APU. And we can now shut the engine down. So we're good. 1, 2, 3.
Taxi stand 122 via Alpha and Bravo.
Excellent. Turn that down now. And there we are. Wonderful. That's the first time we've seen the livery all night. Wicked. What an enjoyable sector. Nice. And pretty much, guys, I don't know if you remember who watched the stream 2 weeks ago, that's where we started from. So we've done a full loop, full circle. Pretty much ended up only 20 feet away from where we started. Nothing to see here. I only left the engine anti-ice on for the entire approach. I think I should come off as well. Thankfully, no go around as well. Minus 50 in the 7.2. That's wicked. Old clunky thing. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the cargo variant of the FlyJSim, none of the doors open. Yeah, what a wicked aircraft. 2 blues, 1 red, engine's dead. So you've got it, guys. Unfortunately, there's no blue lights to see, but works perfectly in the 7.3. Awesome stuff. Let's have a look at the comments section. Always a good laugh looking at this. Thanks to Scott Town for that donation as well. I think I just about remembered to shout that out. But yeah, that approach was good. I think the descent calculation I screwed up slightly from top of descent. I might have to re-look at that because I think I said 50 miles from Biggin. I think I was very late there. I was having to really increase that rate of descent to get back onto profile. But the vectors were really good from approach. They stepped us down. And it's just about positioning that aircraft onto the glide slope, working out where you are. Really nice rule of thumb to remember. It doesn't matter if you're in the 7.3, the Zeba, or the 7.2. It is a rule we use at my operator called 3-2-1 rule. So when you're flying an ILS or a non-precision approach, make sure that at 10 miles, you're around 200 knots and around 3,000 feet above aerodrome level. If you aim to do that, you can't be too far from destabilising yourself. So at around 10 miles, 3,000 feet is the perfect height. Remember, that's above ground level. So if you're flying in somewhere like Madrid, which has an elevation of 2,000 feet, you want to be at around 5,000 feet on 10 miles. So these are all rough figures, and it really helps with everything there, but so many things you need to do. Ice Mickey flaps, they are up, don't worry, it's just part of the 727. I think when you turn the engines off, obviously the engine hydraulics depressurize and the slats just zoop forward like this, so you can actually see, look, the flaps are up and the lever is up, but that's just a little realistic thing they've added with the 7.2. Awesome stuff then, guys. Well, thank you very much to everyone. I think it's about time we'll take a look at the replay. That's definitely what I want to play several times because it was so smooth, so buttery. And what we'll do is play the funky music. There we are. Let's pop ourselves onto the replay mode. Oh, damn it, I forgot to say thanks to the controller, but as soon as I added the replay, it disconnected straight away. But if you are watching the stream, ground approach, thank you very much for the ATC, sorry about that. Cool. Right, let's have a look at that. I don't know how much of that button we'll see, because it is night time. So I fled very high because the FlyJSim, it does feel a bit wallowing pitch. Are those trees on the runway? I hope not. Oh, look at that. My goodness, I think they're a bit softer. Damn it, I wish it was daytime. There's the main gear. I don't think I'll land any smoother than that. And bang on the sense line. Look at that for sense line tracking. Outstanding. Mega. Let's take a look at this. One more time. What butter? Minus 50. It's got to be like one of the top 5 smoothest landings I've done. Lovely. Is there a tower view? There is. Oh, it's one of those crud tower views where you can't actually see anything. See if I can do it manually then. Very smooth, I'm afraid, my head tracking. Not bad at all. Wicked. Alright then guys, well, as ever, thank you very much to everyone that took part in the stream this evening. And obviously say a special thanks to everyone that donated. All the members for the continued support as well. We had a new member join as well, so I hope you're already in the Discord as well. Thank you very much for that. As well, thanks to all my regular viewers and subscribers for continuing to watch the content. I hope you're finding it really enjoyable still. I certainly still enjoy making the streams, and I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I do, making content for you guys as well. As I said, next stream will be tomorrow. We're going to take part in the Berlin Takeoff Overload event. That will start at around 3 PM, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll publish that stream tomorrow morning, and feel free to join me as well if you're on that sector too. It will be very busy though. I am not actually, I say feel free to join me, but I'm actually not going to disclose where I'm going because I don't want it to be super busy. But yeah, I hopefully will see some of you in Berlin Takeoff. As ever, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you back tomorrow for another live stream. Have a great weekend otherwise, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.